Like we were back in week one doing a show after that Thursday night Detroit Lions loss, because that's exactly what last night felt like. We all remember how week one went. Week one was a game in which the defense played great. They didn't have Chris Jones and Travis Kelce in that game, but the defense played great, and the Chiefs made mistakes. A drop pass leads to a pick six, and yet somehow, some way in that Lions game, the Chiefs still had a chance to win on the final drive, but there was what? A key drop or two. Last night, defense was incredible. Offense, actually, in the first half, not too bad. Second half, no points yet again.
For the third straight game.
More red zone turnovers, including one from your star tight end, Travis Kelce. And yet, because of your defense, you still, on the last drive, what ended up basically being the last drive of the game, had a chance to win. But what happened? Two drops, one most notably from Marquez Valdez Scantling.
I'm sorry.
MVS. Or as Twitter was calling him yesterday, MVS. Look, that was a repeat of week one, man. It was a repeat of week one, and the second half offense is who this football team is, isn't it?
Okay, so I'm not willing to go as far as they're just, because like saying the second half offense is who they is all they do is turn the ball over, drop passes, and score 0 points.
Is that not what they do in the second half, Cody? You just told me a second ago. You're right. The second half offense the last 3 games.
Yeah.
0 points, 4 turnovers in 15 drives, 0 points, 4 turnovers. 13 fourth quarter points since week 3.
It's embarrassing. I can't even be bothered to talk about these receivers anymore. They suck. They're terrible. All the concerns, and there's no, like, I get it. If you want to be the I told you so guy from the offseason, you can be. Certainly there were plenty of people. I remember sitting here and being like, well, this might be the deepest wide receiver unit in Mahomes' career. That was a stupid freaking thing to say. That was so dumb. They're not deep. Deep in what? Being terrible? Yeah, they're 1 through 7 and sucks ass. That's a slightly different conversation. MVS has 14 catches on the year. Sky Moore can't even get a catch. So he's out on the field as much as MVS. He's not even catching the ball. Like, I mean, it is a bad unit. I can't believe it is this, because the thing that stuns me is, how is it this much worse when it's only Juju Smith-Schuster? He was a 900-yard receiver last year. Rashee Rice ended up being a 700-yard receiver this year. What is this chasm of difference between the talent last year and the year before?
It's one, MVS has regressed. He's having a worse season by far than he did a season ago. The other part is last year they actually were not penalized all that much compared to where they typically are as an Andy Reid coach team. This year they're getting penalized all over the place, whether it's holding calls, false starts, crop back up again. Last night with Jawan Taylor early on that football game. Donovan Smith had a rough night, to say the least. And it's the turnovers. It's the red zone turnovers. And look, the focus is going to be on MVS, and understandably so. I mean, that was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. If you're going to be part of this football team, that's the one thing you have to do. If you're not going to be a 900-yard receiver and you're just going to be the deep threat guy, then you got to catch the freaking football in that moment, all right? So he shouldn't be on the field if he's not capable of catching those. And I had some Green Bay Packer colleagues, friends, acquaintances, whatever you want to call them, text me last night that work up in Green Bay, and they're like, yeah, man, we saw him drop like 7 of those in his time in Green Bay. So that's who he's been as an NFL player, dropping wide open passes. Aaron Rodgers can relate to Patrick Mahomes' frustrations last night. But it's the turnovers as well. We can focus on MVS, but it's the red zone turnovers. Your 2 best players on this team, and Patrick Mahomes and Chris Jones, or Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, had the 2 big turnovers that put you in a spot to where you needed that catch from MVS, right? Like, that's what's frustrating, and why I said it's reminded me of the Lions game. All the mistakes that were made, everybody wanted to focus on Tony's drop at the end of the Lions game, and I get it. Everybody wants to focus on MVS's drop. But, man, they had their defense getting multiple stops against the Eagles last night in the third quarter, multiple chances to go up 2 scores, and they couldn't because of turnovers.
Oh, that's a huge issue. It was an issue last year and seemingly eventually solved itself. But no, not again this time. They could have won. I know that people hate this. I'm not saying they lost the game. They deserve to lose it. They absolutely should have won that game. No doubt. That's where the similarities between this and the Detroit game lie. That was their game. They were in control. They controlled the action 80% of the game. And then at the moments in which they needed people to step up the most, because I can nitpick, like the MVS one is the most egregious because it was at the end for as much as you screwed up, but the Travis Kelce one cost him just as much. They'd have been inside the 10-yard line. They score a touchdown there. They go up 2 scores, and this whole damn game's over 2. So Kelce has to wear that one, just like MVS has to wear his. And Kelce's, that was one of the worst games I've seen Kelce play in a very long time. I don't know if it was lack of focus, frustration, energy. I'm not sure which one it was. I haven't seen him play a game that poor in a while. But the whole unit is a mess. Justin Watson had, like, one of the drives, like, I went back through the second half. I'm like, okay, were they that bad in the second half on drives? No, they're not as bad as you're thinking just because they got 0 points. 2 drives stunk. Okay, 2 were bad. 2 were quick punts, and 1 was like a Creed penalty that ended up being a quick 3 and out. 1 was a touchdown drive, but Travis Kelce fumbled it, or at least a field goal drive. The other, again, could have been a field goal drive. They're on the 39-yard line, and Justin Watson can't hold on to a first down catch that ends that drive. And then we can talk about that later, punt for whatever dumbass reason that was. Okay, then they punt. And then a third drive was the last one, where Patrick Mahomes went 4 for 9 for 25 yards and looked as good as he had all season. I swear to God, he was dotting people. And it didn't matter because nobody could hold on to the football.
Yeah, they lead the league in drops. It's 27 now, including the 4th and 25 drop. It was 26, the stat went on the screen. But then 4th and 25, that ball was in the hands of Justin Watson. He drops it, so it's 27 drops on the season. And yeah, Cody, I mean, you can list off the things that they did to put them in position to win. Sure, right? The Chiefs had 7 more first downs. They had 98 more yards. They ran 20 more plays. They had 4 more sacks. A.J. Brown, another number 1 wide receiver, held to just 8 receiving yards. Jalen Hurts didn't throw a touchdown. But the margin of error, I used to be able to come on this show over the last 3.5, soon to be 4 years since you and I have been doing the show together, Cody. We used to be able to come on this show and say, you know what? All these turnovers, all these mistakes, because it's Mahomes and it's this Chiefs offense, they can just overcome things that most teams can't.
Yeah.
The fact is they cannot. They're no different than any other team anymore. They're not. So you're right, the move the ball and all that. The difference is now your star players, because of the inefficiencies elsewhere on offense, when you're asking Justin Watson to be a number 1 wide receiver when he's a number 4 wide receiver. The dude had 11 targets. I don't even put it much on Justin Watson. Guy had 11 targets. We're talking about Justin Watson here. No business having 11 targets. That speaks to the rest of the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
So
it makes me less mad at Justin Watson and more mad at the other guys.
Sure. And so when Travis Kelce has opportunities, though, and Patrick Mahomes have opportunities, because his pick was bad in the red zone, when those guys make mistakes, this team is simply not good enough on offense to overcome that anymore. In the past, when they get the ball and they need to go 90 yards with 2 minutes or roughly 2:20 to go, we're all thinking, oh, Mahomes got this. Not anymore. We have to shift our thinking, not with this offense. This is who they are. Now, why are they so good in the first half and trash in the second half? We can explore that throughout the show today.
Scripted
because
plays, I guess?
Right, because they're actually the second best offense in the first half. They really are. Second best offense points per game in the first half.
Yeah, they're a 34-point per game offense in the first half and a 10-point game per game
dead last
in the second.
Dead last in the second half. They're dead last in the second half, 5.3 points per game. The Cardinals, who are 2-9, are averaging more points per game in the second half, 6. The Raiders, who the Chiefs are going to play on Sunday, by the way, who are 5-6.
Sweet, someone just as bad as that.
Who are 5-6, are averaging 6.8 points per game in the second half. And the Chiefs are worse than both of them.
Mm-hmm. But close to the Raiders, who they get to play this weekend. I hope that, at least I trust that the Chiefs will still win this, because it would be horrifying for them to reopen some dumb conversation about the division just because they lost to the Raiders this weekend. And it would only put them a game back. I don't think they're going to do that. But yes, it is a huge, offensively, the wide receivers are the biggest problem by a mile. And yeah, the tackle struggled last night. That's one of the best defensive lines in football. I can justify a little tackle struggle against one of the best defensive lines in football. My problem is that going into that game, Patrick Mahomes had said, this is kind of nice because we can see who plays big under the lights. And every single wide receiver was a mess. Justin Watson, for as many targets and catches that he did have, and he led the wide receivers, he had 3 drops himself. I know some of them don't get called drops because it's like errors in baseball and they're nice to you. But that 4th and 25 ball that Patrick Mahomes dotted between his hands, that's a drop. Mm-hmm. You got to catch that, especially considering the other ones that the unit dropped. I don't know if this just means T. Higgins is a stone cold lock to be a Chiefs wide receiver next year, but for the first time in a long time, I'm mad at Brett Veach because this plan stunk. This wide receiver plan, gross. You thought I'm going to make MVS the number one wide receiver and pair it up with Sky and Tony, and it's an awful plan.
They completely miscalculated the progression and belief that their coaching staff was going to be able to bring these guys along. Because I'll go back to week one. In that game, we're like, it's week one. They got time to figure this out, which, by the way, I think was still accurate at that time because it was week one of the damn season. But it's week 12 now. And if we were to go through every single wide receiver, let's start with MVS. Has he gotten better, stayed the same, or worse?
Worse.
He's gotten worse. Sky Moore, about the same, right? He's not really doing anything. He's not doing anything. He's the same.
He had 200 yards last year. He's just getting more opportunities.
He's
the
same player.
He's technically going to have more yards, but he's the same player.
Rashee Rice, all right, he's improved. He's the only guy you can say he's improved.
From nothing?
Kadarius Toney.
Worse.
Kadarius Toney, yeah, the same or worse. I mean, he needs to continue to get more playing time, but that's a whole other conversation later.
Rashee Rice has improved, but he wasn't even on the field.
Right. Well, he was. No, so that's the misleading thing. He actually had the second most snaps of any wide receiver last night. He just didn't get targeted.
It's just they don't do it the way other wide receivers. I know we're going to talk about these guys in a little bit, but just real quick, if you're curious if Rashee Rice is on the field enough, even though he was on the field the second most out of all the wide receivers, the answer is no. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown were on the field for their offenses yesterday, 97% of the snaps. Both of them. Rashee Rice was on the field for less than 50. That's not how the Chiefs don't operate that way. Well, they got to start.
Yeah,
because this operation doesn't work.
No doubt. Now, I will say, the Eagles, the one thing to keep in mind, remember we had a conversation with Ross Tucker yesterday. Because Dallas Goedert's out, they went way more 4 wide receiver sets, and so they had more wide receivers on the field than they typically do even in Philly last night. So I don't know how – I would have to go look. I don't know if that's how Philly normally operates. But yes, the Chiefs start. Remember how the Chiefs started the game? They had three tight ends, I guess, at one point in time on the field.
Didn't work on the first drive.
Reddick got the best of Jawan Taylor, to say the least. We're going to talk about the wide receivers more. And I was just going through them, though, right? I mean, none of them, other than Rashee Rice, just because of more playing time, have improved. They've either stayed the same or regressed. Since week 1, it's week 12 now. That's why we talk about this football team and the position they're in, and they're the worst second-half offense in the NFL.
Ugh.
Defensively, briefly, we can talk about.
No, this makes me happy. Let's talk happy things for a minute.
Because defensively, I don't know how you don't feel even better about this football team in that regard, right?
Absolutely.
Defensively, what they were able to do to Jalen Hurts last night was incredible. They did everything you could possibly ask for, held them to 21 points. Again, it's very similar to the Detroit Lions game where you're like, man, it's not on the defense. This is all on the offense. Yet again, we've been saying that throughout the entire season. But what they were able to do, get after, that's a very good offensive line.
It's a top 3 scoring offense in the NFL.
In Philadelphia. I mean, Trent McDuffie gets 2 sacks. Chris Jones, 2 sacks. He said he was going to hit his numbers. He got 2 sacks right out of the bye week. George Karlaftis gets a sack. Snead gets an interception. And as I mentioned, the Chiefs had 4 more sacks, and they held A.J. Brown to 8 receiving yards. This is not just some weird trend right now. This is who they are as a defense. They lock down number 1 wide receivers. That's L'Jarius Sneed and Trent McDuffie. That's why they're able to do it. And that's why, like, defensively, this defense, I don't know how many more times they have to prove to people. It was the Dolphins game. Well, let's see what they do against Philly. The defense is who they are. They are one of the 2 best defenses in football. Plain and simple.
They are elite. I mean, they are the best. They're the best defense in the NFL. We thought that a couple of weeks ago, right? And maybe at that time, people might have questioned it or whatever and been like, well, I don't know, man. That Browns defense, whatever one they wanted to attach their name to at the time. This is the best defense in the NFL. They have, I think for a while, I was quantifying with, well, they're just deep everywhere. And maybe they don't have the star power of those old top 5 defenses with Tamba and Houston. No, they have that too. Chris Jones is the best interior defensive lineman in the NFL by a lot. Then Trent
he's surpassed Aaron Donald now.
Yes, absolutely. Trent McDuffie should be a first-team All-Pro corner. We can get more into that in a minute. L'Jarius Sneed is playing like his own number 1 corner. You don't even know that their leading tackler's gone. Zero evidence it even bothers them.
Yeah, they're doing this without Nick Bolton.
I mean, to do it against this offense and to do it against Miami and Philadelphia in back-to-back weeks says everything you need to know. And I was on the fence. I wasn't even as willing to go as strong as you were a couple of weeks ago where you're like, hey, this defense is good enough. This offense could be like this the rest of the year.
This defense can win them a Super Bowl.
It can. It can, and I'm even saying that having watched this offense can play exactly like they did last night, and it can still win them the Super Bowl because they should have won that game. Like they had every opportunity in the world to win a game in which they turned the ball over twice in the red zone, had 5 drops as a unit, had 9 penalties as a group, and the defense still almost won them a game against the best team in the NFL. Right? Or the best team in the NFC, however the hell you want to look at it. They're one of the 4 best teams in the league without question are the Eagles. And their defense was good enough to win them that game. I would prefer, it'd be a whole lot easier. I'll tell you this, if the offense even ever gets somewhat slightly on track, it's going to be a whole hell of a lot easier to win the Super Bowl based on this defense is playing. I have been blown away by their performance. Last night was their single best of the year. It was better than their performance against Miami. A.J. Brown did nothing. They got the quarterback 5 times. Jalen Hurts looked so uncomfortable. They kept them out of almost every tush-push situation. They got 2 late in the game.
It was the 6:25 mark or so of the third quarter was the first time the brotherly shove or tush-push came into play. You thought you were going to have to deal with that all night. Now, it was impactful when it mattered and then they had to have it, and the Eagles ultimately scored when they had to. But when you're looking at this defense, Steve Spagnuolo, I mean, in the first half in particular, it was a masterclass of being. I mean, he couldn't have been more aggressive off of corner blitzes and utilizing Trent McDuffie. I don't know if there's a better defensive coordinator in the league right now utilizing corners and safeties in terms of blitz scheme and disguising.
Not as well.
I don't think there's anybody better than Spags right now at doing that. And remember, they're one of the youngest defenses still in the league. So I get it. It's a day after a loss, and we'll continue to talk about the offense and the mess that is this offense. But I think we can all agree, defensively, this team is going to give you, usually we used to say the offense will give you a chance every single game to win. It's the reverse. This defense is going to give you a chance, even with the offensive struggles, to win every single game. And, yeah, if you think that the drops are going to cost them a game in the AFC title game or something like that, yeah, that's more than fair because right now – they lead the league in drops. But it's not going to be because of this defense, all right? This defense is going to give them an extra drive, because they did it twice last night, an extra chance, even with all the crap and turnovers. They're going to give them one extra chance, and it's because of this defensive unit.
I never thought they were capable of this going into the season. I just remember this is the opposite of the offensive conversation we were having, where you and I both said that if they finish outside the top 5 offense, it was a disappointing year. Well, we can already
They're 14th right now in points per game.
We can go ahead and pencil that bad boy in. It is a disappointing year on offense. I don't think you and I are going to have a real hard time saying that. But when we had the conversations about the defense, we both did. We were optimistic about the defense. I had said, and you were, I think at the time you were like, wow. Because I'd said, look, I think they're probably a top 10 defense. I think they're right in that range. I like the depth. I think this works. I didn't think they would be this dominant. And boy, do they need it. Because you can do the flip side of either this. It'd be like, hey, what if this defense was only 8th? Okay, well, they'd be 5-5. But if this offense was 5th, they'd be 10-0.
Right.
So, I mean, like, I can go whichever way you want in this conversation, but the defense is the reason they're 7-3. And if you look at the rest of the AFC competition, you're not alone. The defense is the reason why the Ravens are 8-3. The defense is why the Browns are 7-3. The defense, I can go through huge majority of the AFC contenders, and they are in a very similar boat.
No question about this defense, but you just mentioned the AFC, and that's what's so damaging about last night, though, is you're now, as of right this second, out of the number 1 seed. That is
by a half game, right?
That belongs, by a half game. Ravens still have a bye week in 2 weeks or something like that. But you're out of the number 1 seed currently. Now, the schedule, we'll talk later in the week, or you and I won't be here tomorrow, but I'm sure Drew and
We'll
Dusty,
just tell them to talk about it later.
Drew and Dusty,
I'm sure. If you
guys
want, we already looked it up.
Drew and Dusty, I'm sure we'll talk about it. I mean, the Chiefs' schedule is still the easiest AFC schedule the rest of the way based off of strength of schedule, okay? So I don't suddenly think the Chiefs are losing 4 games in a row or something. So let's be realistic about how we talk about this team. However, last night could have, even though it's an NFC opponent, depending on what Baltimore does and what you believe they're capable of doing in a very difficult division, that could prevent you from hosting an AFC title game, though, still.
It could.
And that's what's so frustrating about last night as well.
I think I try to win 3 games in the AFC with just your defense. The way it sits right now.
Yeah.
I know we'll talk some about the turnover specifically. That is a logical way in which your offense can improve. I'll just
Well, that's the most realistic way, Cody.
That is actually fixable.
That's-
I can't make the wide receivers faster or better route runners or like those things are unfixable. They're broken in that regard. But they could just turn it over a little less.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you would like to think is correctable, the turnover differential right now for this football team. Because, the wide receiver room is the wide receiver room. And they had multiple opportunities in the offseason. They had opportunities before the trade deadline. They stuck with this group, and clearly it has not worked out, to say the least. But this is the group they have. There's nobody they're picking up off the street. There is someone still in the wide receiver room that has not been utilized, and his name is Richie James. I would still like him to play more. You know my feeling about that. However, this is the group. And so I get why on earth would you believe that suddenly the team that has 27 drops with their wide receivers and the next closest team is 18th, why you think that they're going to figure it out. I get the skepticism there. One thing that you can maybe correct through discipline and otherwise, I was listening to Dane and Hughes earlier this morning on Festival in the morning, talk about focus with Travis Kelce's fumble and things like that. That is potentially correctable. And is that how this offense ends up getting better? Not that the wide receivers stop dropping passes, because I don't know. That's probably who they are. MVS has been that guy his entire career.
Is there a high school football coach who can bring a jugs machine right now to this station? Because I am pretty confident at this point, as Drew had. I'm pretty sure that if you put 20 passes out of a jugs machine right now, I could catch it a higher percentage than the Chiefs wide receivers are. Close range. No gloves. No gloves, Gold.
No
gloves.
Someone bring a jugs machine to this damn building, and I'll prove it.
Not happening.
I'll prove it. What's their catch rate right now?
Off of a jugs machine?
No. Just as a unit. I think 80%. I can catch 8 out of 10 off of the jugs.
No, you can't. Not without gloves, you can't.
Without gloves,
I'll call
there's no
BS
way.
on this. I know the wide receiver room sucks right now, but you're not catching 8 out of 10 out of a jugs machine
without. Anybody got an ambitious high school kid who
gloves.
has one in the garage, or a high school coach with a jugs machine who's got nothing to do on a holiday week listening to this show?
Maybe if the jugs
913-586-760.
Maybe if the jugs machine is running off the same power of that hot dog at the Iowa basketball game, that hot dog shooter or T-shirt launcher that went like, I don't know, 1 foot in front.
I think it's Kenny Pickett. That's what that thing is.
Maybe if that's what the jugs machine is, you'll catch 10 out of 10.
By the way, I looked it up. You had said you weren't sure if Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown typically play that percentage of snaps. The answer is they do.
Okay.
A.J. Brown plays 92% of the offensive snaps. Devonta Smith this season plays 97% of the offensive snaps. Just to be clear on if you're thinking, hey, do you think that maybe they could just get a few more snaps for Rashee Rice? Currently, Zacchaeus for the Eagles gets more snap percentage than Rashee Rice on his team. So, yeah, I think there's probably some room for some snaps.
Yeah, I still push back. I want Rashee Rice to get more snaps, but I don't think the Chiefs are operating that way offensively. They don't trust their tackles. Clearly, they're leaving tight ends in. They're leaving guys in to chip. Philadelphia, I didn't play in the league, so I'm not breaking down all 22 film or whatever like somebody else can waste their time doing. But when it comes to this offense, the Chiefs aren't going 5 wide and 4 wide on a regular basis like Philadelphia was last night. They're just not operating that way.
I know, but in the given season, they were able to do that while still playing. I mean, I understand because obviously Noah Gray has a higher snap percentage than any other wide receiver outside of MVS this year. But there's room.
That's just how they operate.
But they're wrong. But I'm not disagreeing with that. It's how they operate, but it's not working. So is there not a reason to change your operation?
Rashee Rice should get more snaps, but Cody, he ended up with the second most snaps within a wide receiver, and he still had 2 catches last night? What does that say? So you can say he can have 80% of the snap. What is he going to get 4 instead? Like the routes, whatever it may be, whether it's him, whether it's clearly coaching, like that to me, like even Kadarius Toney, we've been saying the last week and a half that the comments about, he's healthy and all that, I don't care if he's not producing. Get the ball in his hands more. Like that still applies even more so after last night.
But Sky had 50 and had 1.
Sure. We've been saying Sky
0.
Moore.
I don't know.
We've been saying Sky Moore snaps should be decreased for weeks, though.
If Kadarius Toney ran routes like he did punt returns with that sort of
I think he does when he's in the open field.
That attacking, mindset, I feel like he'd be a Pro Bowl wide receiver. If he ran routes like he had the ball in his hands on punt returns.
We'll get back into the offense coming up in a little bit. Coming up next, though, Vinnie Pasquantino, our NFL insider. We're going to ask him about something he wants to declare today. We're going to find out what that is next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Tune in to hear Andy Reid every Monday at noon, exclusively on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
We're talking with Dr. Chris Hettinger, board-certified urologist at Kansas City Urology Care. Tell us what sets KCUC apart from other urology practices.
The things that make us stand out are the technology at our disposal, the quality of the surgeons, and the experience from years and years of robotic surgery.
KCUC was the first to bring robotic surgery to Kansas City, right?
We performed the first robotic surgery in Kansas City in 2003 and continue to perform hundreds of urologic robotic surgeries in the Kansas City metro area every year. Robotic surgery offers less blood loss, shorter hospitalization, less pain, shorter recovery period. After robotic surgery, many of my patients get back to work within a week or two. For abdominal surgery, it's revolutionized what we've done.
From problems urinating to sexual function to prostate cancer, see the experts. Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit appointments.kcurology.com.
Centric is always training for the technology of today, and AI is no exception.
Gold, I got sucked into the Chat GPT game because I'm interested in it. And it's great when these companies like Centric immediately know that AI is important and you want to start learning it.
You can amplify your skills over at Centric when it comes to AI, critical thinking, prompt generating, refined messaging, all part of the curriculum.
Don't miss out on an incredible career in IT and a budding industry like AI. Go to Centric.com/610, talk to our guy Russ Mondry, and tell him that Cody and Gold sent you.
Get big savings and big rewards during Provember at Lowe's. Earn bonus points on brands like DeWalt to redeem for NFL tickets to regular season games and more. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees. After applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 11/22, subject to change.
Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, it's Bob Fesco. This NFL season, Crown Royal is celebrating the generous hosts that make game day royal. To the fans that open their doors and celebrate Kansas City game day, cheering on our tight end with a plate full of burnt ends. So raise a glass for the hosts of every watch party and kick off with Crown. Because Crown Royal believes if you live generously, life will treat you royally. Visit kickoffwithcrown.com to find out how Crown is living generously all season long. Please drink responsibly.
Day one, Kansas City took me in. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know what we could become. No guarantees we'd succeed. Still, they took a chance, and so did Community America. They invested in me and the entire community. Invest in what you believe in with who you believe in. Because it's not just where you put your money, it's where your money puts you. Member-owned, open to all, Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
Hi, it's Derek Johnson, and I know there's nothing better than being part of a team. A group of great people you can count on and learn from. The Sheet Metalworkers, local number 2, are growing their team and looking for quality men and women who want to build Kansas City's future. While you're making KC a better place, you'll also get great pay and benefits while gaining lifelong skills. Explore the possibilities at sheetmetal2.org. That's sheetmetal2.org. And take a step towards a fulfilling and rewarding way of life.
Join Yingling and Johnny's Tavern this November to support Loggers for Heroes. Join Johnny's Tavern to give back to local KC vets and register to win a Yingling prize pack, including a tailgate couch, large wooden Yingling bar sign, tickets to the Chiefs Christmas game, and so much more. Yingling, America's oldest brewery, is proud and thankful for Kansas City's servicemen and women. Visit any of your local Johnny's Taverns in the KC Metro to enter to win. This contest is powered by our friends at Yingling and 610 Sports.
Gomer's has all you need for holidays and game days. Voted KC's #1 liquor store year after year. It's Gomer's mission to be the best in price, selection, and service. 5 convenient locations in the KC Metro. Or shop online at gomers.com for curbside or delivery.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Amazon's got the best deals on Black Friday. Know the best deals are on Cyber Monday. Friday comes first when it comes to saving. Monday's worth the wait for what you've been craving. Deals so good it'll feel like stealing. Real cool message, could you make it less appealing? What's with the beef? You can get that too. Won't you call us? What's triggering you? Whichever day you're shopping on, you'll save a bunch at Amazon. On Black Friday, Cyber Monday too.
Get big savings and big rewards now during Provember at Lowe's. Right now, new and existing MVPs can get 50% off an NFL Plus premium annual subscription and get access to live local and primetime games on mobile, NFL Red Zone, NFL Network, and more. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. New and qualified returning NFL Plus subscribers only. Limited time offer. Promotional pricing applies to this year only. Plan automatically renews until canceled. Terms and conditions apply. Offer ends 11/30.
Ah, holiday season. A time for family, friends, good food, and football. Lots and lots of football. And with the free Odyssey app, you'll always get your fill. Out of state but need your favorite sports talk station to drown out the noise? We got you. Can't wrestle the remote away from your in-laws? Listen to every primetime NFL game from Westwood One, including all 3 on Thanksgiving Day. This holiday season, treat yourself to the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Visit Topsies.com or a store near you. Topsies Popcorn. It's the good stuff.
Nothing says tradition like red, gold, white, and yellow. Of course, we're talking about cinnamon, caramel, butter, and cheese flavored Topsies Popcorn. It's the perfect gift and the perfect snack. Pick up a tin at TopsiesPopcorn.com today. Topsies. It's the good stuff.
12th play of the drive. Kansas City 1st and 10 at the 14 of Philadelphia. 17-14 Chiefs, early 4th. Mahomes goes to Kelsey at the 10, surrounded by Eagles. They fumbles the ball at the 8-yard line, and the Philadelphia Eagles have it at the 10-yard line. Kelsey was trying to get yards after the catch at the 10-yard line, the second red zone turnover of the night.
One of 2 red zone turnovers. Mitch Holthus, of course, on the call there for 106.5 The Wolf. The Chiefs radio network. I mean, there's the first half red zone pick in which Mahomes was trying to float one over Byard to get to Justin Watson for his second touchdown of the game. And then that one, the Chiefs, I mean, both turnovers occurred. They were basically at the 15-yard line, 13-yard line on both red zone turnovers.
And the kicker's perfect. And by the way, if you just kick field goals, if you just don't turn it over, you just kick field goals. Gold, did they lose by more than 6?
No, man.
Oh, they didn't.
Nope.
So...
Thing is, you have to, when we're talking about Travis Kelce, a future Hall of Famer, talking about Patrick Mahomes, a future Hall of Famer, maybe the best quarterback in NFL history when it's all said and done. And as much as, again, I said it earlier, like much we want to focus in on MVS and the drop, your 2 best players, when things aren't going right and when clearly the offense is horrific in the second half, your 2 best players on offense do have to almost be perfect.
Yeah.
They do. You can't overcome a mistake from 15 or 87. That's where they're at offensively right now.
His energy last night stunk, right?
Something was up.
I don't want to I don't want to try to it just, he was clearly frustrated. Andy was yelling at him at one point. That fumble just feels like, hey, you're just not taking care of the ball the way you would normally be expected to.
He's had a couple of those, though, throughout it. I mean, that's not, him fumbling is not necessarily a shocking development.
Yeah, I just, the text line was even, did he look checked out? To me, yeah, kind of. I don't know if it's that or if he's just, you go back to the Wall Street Journal article from yesterday and he's like, my body hurts all the time and he's just feeling it more this week. Coming off the bye, you wouldn't think so, but I don't disagree that he seemed kind of meh last night. Seemed like things were just kind of dragging a little bit for him last night. But you're right, they can't make mistakes.
I think frustration is what it is.
That's probably it too.
He shows it more than others. Mahomes does usually a pretty good job of not showing it. And sometimes it causes bad decisions, although I don't think that's what the Mahomes pick was. I think the Mahomes pick, give credit to the Eagles on that particular play. I don't think Mahomes ever saw the safety coming across, at all. I don't think that was forcing. I don't think he ever saw him. I think he thought I could just float this one over Justin Watson's wide open to the back of the end zone. I just don't think he ever saw him.
You don't think he saw the safety?
So I don't think that was the same as some of the other picks where you're like, man, he's trying to force it. I don't think that's what that pick was. Travis Kelce, I think overall, when you're part of an offense right now that in one half is second best in the league, And then in the second half, the worst, and you're worse than teams that we listed off, like the Cardinals, who are averaging more points per game in the second half, a 2-win football team. That's going to make you frustrated. When you're Travis Kelce and you're normally used to an offense that's putting up 34 points a game.
Don't take this as like me trying to defend the Chiefs offense right now, because I do think it's kind of indefensible. Can you guys believe that there are 18 teams worse at offense than this one? I'm just serious question. Right now, based on the way the Chiefs are playing offense, can you believe that more than half of the NFL is worse than offense than this?
I can't.
What the hell are you all doing?
I can't when I tell you again that they're second in the first half, but worse in the league in the second half. That's the thing. It's not like they're 24th in the first half and 28th in the second half. No, they're top 3 in the first half, and they look like the Chiefs of old in the first half. And in the second half, they're the worst offense in the NFL.
And then once I looked at the teams, I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, I don't like the way the Chiefs offense plays right now. But then the offenses behind them are Denver, Washington, New Orleans, Chicago, Green Bay. I'm like, yeah, I hate all those offenses. So that tracks. Never mind.
I know we're supposed to maybe have Vinny on, like, his team's offense, the Jets, who I probably on a weekly basis send out a tweet and say, I don't know how Jets fans watch this offense. How do they watch Zach Wilson? That offense has scored more in the second half, in the fourth quarter, than the Chiefs have recently. That crap in New York with the Jets.
They probably score more in the second half because they're down so much,
No.
Can we excuse them away?
No, Cody, the Chiefs offense, the Chiefs offense has 13 fourth quarter points since week 3.
13?
13 in the fourth quarter.
Is Pittsburgh still ahead of them in the second half? Is Pittsburgh ahead of them?
Yeah, in the second half, the Chiefs are the worst.
In the second half, the Chiefs are dead last. Everyone's ahead of them.
The Chiefs are...
Not overall.
Behind.
The Chiefs score more points in the first half than the Pittsburgh Steelers average per game. So, again, it is a
What was
tale
it,
of
like 17?
So it's a tale of, and Pittsburgh averages less than 17 points per game. So in the entire first half, the Chiefs equal the Pittsburgh Steelers in an ability to score. And then in the second half, they are somehow the worst offense in the history of the planet. And I'll put some of that on coaching. How can you score so effectively in the first half with the same players and then come back out in the second half and then every defense have you completely figured out? Why are your adjustments worse than their adjustments? I think that's a more than fair question that is confusing when you think about it and try to figure out what the hell's going on here. I'll say the 913 would say Mahomes looks pissed. Yeah, he's been tired for weeks. And it's very obvious, and he's been frustrated. But I'll say this, Mahomes will back his dudes to the grave. Last night in that postgame, after he threw an absolute dime to Marquez Valdez-Scantling for what would have been the game-winning touchdown, he still said, I could have thrown that ball a little better. Really? You hit him in the hands. In stride. We talked about the wide receivers earlier. It's some of the ones that killed me were when MVS, on that one deep route that Mahomes threw, is I can't even tell you what route MVS was trying to run.
Both Watson and MVS.
What were you doing?
Both
there?
Watson
and Watson went back to the middle of the field. It's where are you going? That's not where the ball goes.
This is off of the bye week, and that's why, when we're talking about, the belief for hope for weeks of the offense figuring it out, to have that performance still in the second half off of the bye week is why I think this is who they are in the second half. And the only thing that might be correctable is the turnovers. Maybe we'll try to reconnect with Vinnie Pasquantino at some point today. Looks like we're having issues getting him on the
might be able to get him here in a second now. I'm working on it.
Okay.
I don't know what happened, but you know how it works. Sometimes stuff comes up, But yeah, it drives me crazy. At least, again, defensively, we can feel good about ourselves because for just a minute before hopefully we talk to Vinny, can we all acknowledge that Trent McDuffie should be a first-team All-Pro? He should be acknowledged by the NFL as the number one corner in the league. Agree or disagree? He's the best corner in the NFL. He should be first team, or he's having the best year.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I think we know this duo of McDuffie and Snead is one of the top two duos in cornerbacks in the NFL, period. And as much as we mentioned McDuffie, because, he's blitzing, he's getting sacks and turnovers, L'Jarius Snead, even McDuffie admitted after the game, when we're talking about the number one wide receivers getting shut down, A.J. Brown again last night, 70-80% of the time, that's L'Jarius Snead.
Yeah, it is.
And so that's why I pair them together. That duo, one of them's under contract for 3+ more years. One of them, they're going to have to make a decision on. L'Jarius Snead, it's a contract year. We'll talk more about McDuffie, but let's go out to the 610 hotline. Welcome in our VNFL insider, Vinnie Pasquantino, who joins us after a really tough loss last night, Vinnie, for the Chiefs. This offense in the second half is worse than your Jets, believe it or not.
Yeah, that's on me. I texted Cody prior to the game, and I said that I was going to be a Chiefs fan now, and so that's on me. That loss, I'll take that on the chin. So, yeah, that's on me, guys. I brought my losing ways to you. I won't do it again.
So does that mean you're rescinding, or you're just like, now that you're in here, we'll be good to go?
No, I mean, if you'll take me, I'm very happy to join. But that's up to you guys as Chiefs faithful.
No, I think we more than happily accept you, but then I need you to do me a favor, which is the thing we have to do after these losses, which is, can you talk me off of the ledge about the Chiefs offense? Because for a while I was doing that, and now the concern is starting to outweigh the just blind, random fandom optimism.
Yeah, I mean, what I want to say is you still have 15, and you do, and you still have 87, so that's always a good thing. Now, if you could just get somebody on the outside to, just handle the ball a little bit better, I think you'd be in a pretty good spot. So, yeah, I mean, anytime you still have Mahomes, you still have Kelsey, you still got a shot. But, yeah, hopefully they figure something out on the outside because that'll make it a little bit better for them to be able to score some points.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling, Vinny, because in the first half, this is actually the second-best offense in football. But in the second half, they are the worst. They're behind the Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders for points per game in the second half. That's what's mind-boggling about it.
Well, they should stop with the halftime adjustments then. You hear that all the time on TV. They should just stop. Just stop meeting. They should just stay out on the field, just like play catch or something.
just
keep things. Yeah, just mess around a little bit of half, and then just start the second half the same way they start the first half. That would be my suggestion. Just do nothing.
Vinny, do you think if I got in front of a jugs machine, I could catch 8 balls out of 10?
He says with no gloves, too.
No, absolutely not. Do you know how hard those NFL footballs are? When I go to Kansas City and we play catch with a football, we've got an NFL football. It's impossible, and we're just messing around with it. So no, you absolutely cannot do that.
You probably break a finger. You dislocate a finger. That's probably what's happening.
100%. Yeah, no doubt. If you don't break your face first, because it's going to go right through your hands at some point, and hit you in the face.
Fair enough. All right, I accept. When you look at what Patrick Mahomes does, I'm always curious. This is like a good cross athlete comparison. He will stand behind them no matter what. He hits MVS in the hands last night. He says, I could have thrown that ball even a little bit better. As a teammate, those kinds of things. Do you guys love when those guys would be like, no, I'm still looking for perfection too. You're not the only person here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the greats do. They always put it on themselves. And he's just another example of one of those great players. So he's not going to throw the blame around. He's always going to think he can do. He's going to try to find something for him to be better, and then hopefully that makes everybody else better. So, yeah, I mean, that's just another example of why he's so good.
We're talking to our NFL insider, Vinnie Pasquantino. I guess it took until week 12 for Robert Saleh to realize, maybe Zach Wilson's not improving. Now it's Tim Boyle. I don't know if you're exactly thrilled by Tim Boyle, but what's the reaction in New York right now with the switch?
They needed to do something. And watching Robert Saleh's press conferences are kind of funny because he just looks like a dead man walking right now. I'm not saying he's on the hot seat or going to get fired or anything, but he doesn't look like he's having a good time. So, yeah, that game was just miserable on Sunday. There haven't been too many games that I've turned off in my lifetime with the Jets. I turned that one off for about 5 minutes and then said, what am I doing? This isn't me, and I put the game back on. So, yeah, it was tough. It was a tough one to watch. I wasn't having a good time. But, yeah, Tim Boyle, the savior of the New York Jets, is here now, and we're going to see what happens.
Vinny, is the AFC just kind of mediocre? Like, is there just no truly great team? Is that what we're seeing here? I mean, the Chiefs, Ravens, Jags, Dolphins, Browns, all 7 or 8-3. Then there's 2 more 6-4 teams beyond that, and very few teams that I think anybody actually likes.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think there's a bunch of really good teams that are beating the crap out of each other. I think I was listening to something yesterday that said that, like, all the teams in the AFC, not all the teams obviously, but most of the teams in the AFC have kicked the crap out of the teams in the NFC when they played each other. And if I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry. I don't have my sources, but I heard that yesterday, and I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. So, no, I think it's the opposite. Why I say that is the Eagles beat the Chiefs last night. But
no, that's the best team in the NFC. It's slightly different,
Right, well, and if you do football math, who makes the best team in the NFL then? That would be the New York Jets. So, that's probably a tough one for the Eagles to sit there and think about is if they lost to the Jets. But, Yeah, I think the AFC is actually just a stacked conference, and they're just all kind of beating the crap out of each other, and that's why it's all about even. Who's the 1 seed right now? Is it still the Chiefs?
It's technically
Baltimore.
the Ravens because they got a half game lead. They're 8-3. They haven't had their bye. The Chiefs are 7-3.
Is Nick Wright going to be okay if the Chiefs don't have the 1 seed?
That's hard to say. Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big content filler for him, Vinny. That's going to be very tough for him to overcome.
Well, no, but the problem is they'll still end up hosting the AFC Championship game, and then he can just keep going. So,
What's our VNFL Insider doing for Thanksgiving? We got 3 football games on Thursday. And now, as you mentioned, your Jets actually are playing in the first ever Black Friday game. So they can, I don't know, maybe that ruin your Black Friday now? Do you like this or no?
yeah, I mean, I'm not going to the game anymore. I can tell you that. And I say this as a professional athlete. Like, sometimes as your team, I know, like, a few of the Jets players are blaming some fans right now for getting on them. I don't love that because, fans want you to play well. That's why they get upset when you play bad. But sometimes you gotta do enough for people to come watch your games. And right now I'm in that limbo period where it's the holidays. I'm not spending $1,000 to go up there. So yeah, I'm going to watch on TV. I've already told my family, leave me alone from 3 to 6 on Friday. And hopefully I'll be enjoying a victory against Miami Dolphins, but we'll see.
Vinny, can you build us a perfect Thanksgiving plate? What are the items on it?
Turkey, I would start with.
That's a classic.
So yeah, I'm going to go with turkey to start.
White or dark?
I'm a light meat guy.
Okay.
So light meat. Stuffing I like mashed potatoes. That's probably my perfect situation is turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, and I could be good to go all day long.
No bread or veggies?
No, I'd prefer not because bread, if I eat it, I'll just feel bad about myself. And veggies I just don't really like, so I'm going to stick away from them.
All right, before we let you go, Vinny, I noticed you sent out a tweet a couple days ago or yesterday with the eye emojis, and it appears to be some sort of logo or something for a Pasquatch. I don't know if you can give us any information. What's going on there? Is this the official Vinnie Pasquantino logo?
That was a feeler to see what people were thinking, and it seemed like people liked it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping we've got some things in the works. There's a few things that have been discussed, and we're excited about it. And hopefully I'll have more information on that for you guys sooner rather than later.
Okay, yeah. Check it out on Twitter for those listening, or X at @VPasquantino on Twitter. But yeah, it definitely looks like a little official Pasquantino logo going for it. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it was pretty good. It was actually a mix of people that helped me make it too. Some from MLB, some from the Royals, all over the place. So it was cool. It was a nice little collaboration that we had, and I'm excited to hopefully share more soon.
All right, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a good Thanksgiving, and we'll check in next week.
Yeah, I'm sorry I was late, guys. That's totally on me. I'm just being a man at my house and hanging up stuff on my walls and totally forgot about it. So that's on me. But if it's, I cut my hand, so I drew a little blood this morning. So I'm not lying.
Wait, so if this was baseball season, you'd be out for a couple days?
No.
Okay.
Not that bad.
Okay.
I told you. The goal is to never miss time ever again. So
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Vinnie Pasquantino, our VNFL insider. You know how that is sometimes with baseball, man. You get the weird story, someone cut their finger cutting carrots, and they're out on the they're on the IL for a week or something. It's the off season, luckily, anyway. By the way, Thanksgiving plate-wise, I'm kind of with them. Just give me some dark meat and white meat, mashed potatoes and gravy, and I'm happy. I really
that's it?
I mean, I will eat other things, but if that's good. That's what I load up on the most. Those are the two items that I want the most on the plate.
How many plates of that do you have? Like 2 or 3?
Yeah, but the food's always so initially it's a 2-plater, and then eventually you end up getting another plate later.
Right.
I'm just surprised. A roll doesn't make an appearance?
No, the roll's there, but again, I'm not excited to eat the roll. I'm excited for
depends on the roll.
The plate might be half mashed potatoes, half turkey, and then the rest is filled in on the top.
You don't have any green bean casserole?
There's greens at ours.
Oh, these are options. I'm just telling you what's on my plate.
He won't. He's just saying his dream plate is just those two things.
And there's other
turkey
options.
And mashed potatoes. And
there's other options. I'm just telling you what. If I'm being honest and I'm going through the little line, I'm loading up on those items.
Nice. What are yours then, Cody? I mean, it sounds like you have a variety, but
I like
what's
a
your
lot of
go-to
different
plate?
stuff. I would like turkey or ham. Our family had ham pretty commonly, right? Some sort of meat dish. I would like a potato, of course, a roll, But I also want I want green beans or some sort of corn casserole dish. Like I want a little variety here. Vinny did send me a photo of his cut hand, so he said for proof. He wants to prove. He said he wants just to prove that the reason why he was late is that he was hanging something up. If you'd like to see, do you think Vinny's going to survive this cut?
He's going to be okay. I can officially report that he will be just fine.
He'll be ready for spring training?
He'll be ready for spring training, based off of that.
Oh, man. Those little knick-knack injuries when you're hanging stuff up. I know you hang your stuff up. You don't call somebody to do that, right? We don't go that far, do we?
Yeah.
I'm just checking.
No, I call somebody.
Wait, you call someone to hang stuff up?
So the Pacheco.
What?
So
Dude, it's just hanging something.
Not for something
it's just
small.
Like a nail.
Not for something small. Like you guys have been in my apartment, like the Kauffman Stadium overhead shot. That I did myself. But the framed Pacheco autographed jersey that I recently got, remember, 2 months ago? Yeah, I paid someone to professionally hang that. That's a framed jersey. I don't want to screw that up.
What do you mean?
That's expensive.
Professionally hang it.
Yeah, TaskRabbit.
So for my anniversary.
It's a company that does it. And they charge me $50.
But for my anniversary, I had a painting commissioned for my wife.
Very nice. Yeah.
And it's going to hang in our front room, and it got professionally framed. I didn't call someone to hang it.
Well, that's your decision. Those, by the way, man, that means the next time you're at, that better be straight. That better not be crooked at all.
It is straight.
It better be perfect.
I'll take a level to it.
But no, if it's an expensive item, I'm going to have somebody professionally hang it. I think that's more than fair.
God, I would just feel like I can't imagine sitting on your couch.
$50, not that.
Well, that dude hangs it. $50?
I think that's a lot.
It's a heavy, professionally framed.
The next time you do that, I'll do it.
Jersey.
I'll do it for $30.
Well, I'd rather have a professional do it for $21.
Professional? I've hung everything in my house for 30 years. I'm just as much as a professional as that guy.
If it's a cheap,
I've hung everything in my house this entire time.
If it's a cheap canvas skylight thing, I'm not going to pay someone to do it. But if it's a heavier, again, professionally framed item, in this case a pretty nice one, I'm gonna have and it's it's a good size. It's not a tiny thing. It's a pretty good. You guys have seen
I've seen it.
Then I'm gonna pay.
The next time that Gold is in your house, Cody, he's going to check every single thing that's hanging on your wall.
Better be straight. You better clean. You better get those leveled, man. You better get those leveled out.
What do you mean? I take a level to it when I hang them up. I've hung up everything in this house. They all seem to be fine. I mean, my wife hangs some of it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, I put up.
I also am in an apartment, so I don't want to screw up the wall and I almost said.
Ooh, you almost.
That was close. You caught yourself.
You got at least an SH into that.
Yeah.
You didn't hit the other two letters, so we're fine.
The jump button was not used. No.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Coming up next, we get right back into the Chiefs, though, and the wide receivers in particular, and why two things are happening. Not the drops, but why two other things are happening. We'll tell you about it next.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Nate Taylor joins the guys in studio Tuesdays at 1 during the season, right here on 610 Sports Radio.
As you've likely figured out, I can get pretty fired up. Whether it's lab diamond ripoffs, bogus sells and financing offers, or paint-by-number jewelry sold as custom, I'm pretty passionate about protecting my client family from predatory jewelers. This is Gene at House of Diamonds, and when I say client family, I really do mean family. At House of Diamonds, we have clients who have watched our kids grow from diapers to dormitories. My family and I are personally in the store every day. We go to school and church here. Our kids play sports here. We look our clients in the eye, not in their bank accounts. Our relationships are based on trust and respect, not ad gimmicks and false promises. No fake custom jewelry, no bogus sales and financing offers, and absolutely no lab diamond ripoffs. Everything at House of Diamonds is real. Me, my family, our team, our passion, and hopefully soon you. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long only at Lowe's. Right now, buy one DeWalt 20-volt max 4-tool combo kit. Get 2 select tools free. That's up to a $438 value. Plus, get up to 50% off select vanities, faucets, and shower heads. Shop in-store and online today because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 11/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Midwest Marine Boat Company is celebrating their new location, now open in Grandview, Missouri. I was just out there a couple weeks ago, and one thing I noticed right away is the additional technicians they now have in their service department. I was talking to some folks there that say, hey, it's great. Some places will tell you, yeah, we can get some work done on your boat, but it's going to be a month. A month, the summertime is already here. You don't have a month to waste of your time on the lake, specifically if you've got that boat you've been waiting to take out for months and months. You know what's nice about Midwest Marine Boat Company? With those extra technicians that they have, they're turning boats around faster. Their service department is just simply more efficient to get you back out on the water. And if you're looking for a brand new boat, come check out the new huge, and I mean huge, indoor showroom at Midwest Marine Boat Company. They have the largest selection of pontoon boats in the area. Also, new lines of Bass Cat, Crown Line, Vexus, and Sea Arc. Midwest Marine Boat Company, the brand new location with a massive indoor showroom at 13800 South 71 Highway in Grandview, Missouri. We take pride in your fun. Hey, it's Alex Gold. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings in Overland Park at 138th and Metcalf on Wednesday, November 22nd from 4 to 6 p.m. Enjoy $10 54-ounce Bud Light pitchers and the chance for a cool Chiefs prize. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 or older. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Tailgate season is turkey season. Score a touchdown with U.S. soy-fed turkey. Versatile, tasty, and truly different. Turkey can be used for succulent sliders, killer kebabs, championship chili, or even brilliant burn-ins. Explore all the recipes at tailgatewithturkey.com. And while you're there, register for the ultimate game day tailgate pack with premium prices like local tabletop griddle, Yeti cooler, portable keg, and more valued at nearly $2,000. You'll be the pride of the parking lot. Turn up your tailgate, KC, at tailgatewithturkey.com.
This year, FanDuel's got something you'll really be thankful for, because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. With so many games going on, Thanksgiving is the perfect time to join. You got many college games, you got a ton of NFL games, and I love the Chiefs taking care of the Raiders this weekend after the Thanksgiving holiday. I also love the Eagles taking care of the Bills. So visit FanDuel.com/610Bob and fill up your plate with parlays and player props all weekend long. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL and 610 Sports Radio. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame moneyline wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
LMC Truck is proud to support the Kingdom this season as they present the national anthem before every game. LMC Truck is focused on keeping generations on the road because trucks tie the past to the future. It's time to start your truck journey at lmctruck.com.
It's touchdown Kansas City when you sell your home to RexBuysKC.com. I am Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs, and no company pays more than Rex, with instant cash offers on your money in as little as 7 days.
That's right, Mitch. I'm Rex, owner of RexBuysKC.com, your locally owned home buyer. We'll buy any house regardless of condition. Distressed or damaged homes, it doesn't matter. Call us now at 816-330-6000 for the best offer and instant cash.
Score a touchdown Kansas City with Rex and get a fair, honest deal. Facing divorce, bankruptcy, thousands in repair bills, needing to move fast, being foreclosed, or just wanting cash fast? Then contact Rex now to get your money in as little as 7 days.
We help homeowners solve their problems with options on how they can sell their home. We have no fees, no closing costs, no commissions, no open houses. We buy your house as is.
Sell your home today, worry and hassle-free, no matter what the condition, and get your money in as little as 7 days.
Call us right now at 816-330-6000 or go online to rexbuyskc.com and let us buy your home today.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios.
Hey Chiefs fans, it's Patrick Mahomes. Catch me every Monday with CDOT during the season on your official broadcast partner of the Kansas City Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Second down 10. Chiefs down by 4. Snap to Mahomes, retreating. He's unloading it long. He's got Valdez-Scantling, and he cannot hang on to the ball. He drops the ball in the end zone. A deep post pattern. The Chiefs had it. They had the defender beat. And Valdez-Scantling on a deep post had the deep safety beat. And Valdez-Scantling drops the ball at the 1-yard line.
Of course, that's the one that's going to sting for a while, even though there were multiple turnovers in the red zone last night. But all the attention on the drop there from Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And really, the rest of the wide receiver room now leads the league in drops. 27 of them, if you include that 4th and 25 drop from Justin Watson.
2.7 drops per game?
Yes, I saw something else.
That's a lot of drops per game.
21% of all Mahomes' incompletions. Something like that are from drops.
Okay, so he would be completing like 70% of his passes if they just caught like half of them?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're talking about? Okay, cool. So there's... I don't understand why it isn't this way already. Matt Nagy's going to speak to the media today, and I hope does get asked a little bit about whether or not he had considered tightening the rotation in the bye week. Because I remember talking about that with Nate, and that the bye week seemed like a pretty good time to do that, and that they didn't. It's time. It is very simple. Stop taking Rashee Rice and Kadarius Toney off the field. They look like the most talented wide receivers, and at the very least, stop doing it in the middle of the drives. It's starting to drive me crazy. I don't understand why Rashee Rice will catch 2 balls in a row and then go stand on the sideline. Then 4 plays later, come back in for 2, then back off the field. Then he's back again, and then gone for a little bit. We were looking this up because I was curious about A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, who were on the field for 98% of the Eagles' snaps this year. They are on average on the field for 95% of the snaps for the Eagles. Look, I get it. The Chiefs wide receivers on A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. So, okay, maybe that's a little too high. Zacchaeus for the Eagles is on the field more than every receiver except MVS. Their third wide receiver is on the field as much, pretty much, as the leading wide receiver for the Chiefs. Tighten it. Tighten the rotation. And by tighten it, I mean more Rice, more Toney, less of the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying this for weeks. I think part of this is the personnel. So as much as it's wanting Rice to get more snaps, he had the second most snaps, by the way, out of any wide receiver on the Chiefs last night. But it's the personnel. Like, I know you bring up Zacchaeus, who's like their third, fourth wide receiver there in Philadelphia. But I don't think, is there any wide receiver you'll want getting 80% of the snaps right now?
Rashee Rice.
Like, that's about it, though.
Rashee Rice.
But that's my point, though, is like, that's it. And I love Rashee Rice and the progression that he's had. But I also think we got to be a little careful. Whereas, because the other pieces have been so damn bad, let's not act like Rashee Rice is this stud number 1 wide receiver. I'm with you that he needs more playing time, right? I told you I think Richie James needs more playing time because I want to see what he can do. The guy had 600 yards last year in the New York freaking Giants offense with Daniel Jones as the quarterback. But also, I don't think, you mentioned Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. Those are number 1/2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
Most likely Rashee Rice is a number 2 wide receiver. The problem is, I'm with you where Justin Watson is this team's number 1 wide receiver. This is not meant to hate on Justin Watson, but he's not a number 1 freaking wide receiver in this league. He's getting 11 targets last night, Cody. 11 targets. He had multiple drops. They're asking a number 4 wide receiver to be this team's number 1 wide receiver. It's clearly, outside of Kelsey, the guy that Patrick Mahomes trusts the most, even with the drops.
Oh, absolutely.
Some of the key moments, the key third downs, who is he throwing the football to? Justin Watson. That's the problem.
Sky Moore and MVS have 788 snaps, Gold, and 29 catches. That's offensive. You all should be offended. that's the case. So part of it is just the couple of excuses that continue to come out about the offense. I don't care to hear anymore. We're going to fix this.
It's week 12.
Tired of it. You're not going to fix it. It's broken. It's fine. If you can just stop the turnovers, this team will probably still have a good chance to win a Super Bowl. I've accepted the fate. But if there is any chance for small improvement, the Chiefs lean on this more than a lot of other teams, which is, hey, he's a rookie. We don't overexpose him, and he doesn't know where he's going all the time. I don't care. Josh Dobbs didn't even know the names of the players he was throwing to, showed up and played don't care. Just put him in, and if he screws it up, so be it. Because the guys who supposedly do know where they're supposed to go aren't getting the job done either. So it doesn't matter to me that he doesn't know where he's going or he's tired. Just put him out there.
Well, and two more experienced guys, Justin Watson and MVS, on deep routes. Not even talking about the drop from MVS. They're lost on some of the deep routes. I know everybody wants to, and Mahomes had the bad pick in the red zone, but want to blame Mahomes for the deep passes. Justin Watson didn't run the proper route. It was very clear the way Mahomes and Andy Reid reacted on the sideline. MVS got turned around once. It's across the board, but it's that they are a room right now in wide receivers that is full of most likely number 4 and 5 receivers that they're asking to be number 1s and 2s.
Yes.
And I still think Kadarius Toney, while the stat sheet won't show it last night because of the opportunity, he still gives them the best chance of explosive plays. He just does.
Yeah.
And
yes, but
he does though, man.
Got 12 catches. I don't care.
But that's my point. He's
Screw
not
the explosive play. It's dead. It died in this offense yesterday when MVS couldn't catch the ball on the goal line. It died.
You just told me that you want Rashee Rice to get 80% of the snaps because you said there's more opportunity. I'm not saying Toney needs 80% of the snaps, but Kadarius Toney should not be only getting. That went up yesterday. I think he got actually 15 or 20 snaps, which is an improvement.
Yeah,
Before it was 7 snaps. He has to get more. Cut back like Sky Moore. I don't even know if he played last night, honestly. I don't even know if he was on the team last night. I have no clue.
I thought that about MVS 2.5 quarters in. And they threw it to him once, and he got a PI call. I was like, all right, nice work, MVS. And then he dropped that touchdown. I'm like, damn it.
But this is the roster they assembled in the wide receiver room. These are the guys that still have to get it done. And yeah, it's week 12. So I don't think there's this magic fix coming. I thought there's a chance out of the bye week that they would have a new wrinkle, a different rotation, whittling down the rotation with the wide receivers. None of that happened. In fact, early on, there was one wrinkle that seemed promising, which was basically using Kadarius Toney as if he was Deebo Samuel on one particular play.
I liked
They
that.
did that once. We never saw it again.
Yeah, what happened there? I was kind of interested in that. I was interested in the let's use Toney a little bit, and then they just stopped. That was an awesome first drive. They gave him that inside handoff. That worked. They threw it to him out in the flat. I hit my bet, thank God. By the way, barely. Turned out
9 yards or whatever, yeah.
Barely.
12 yards, something like
And
that.
I was real nervous after the first 7-yard catch because I was like, oh, man, one backward pass and I could be right below the 5.5-yard mark again. And I'm going to be properly sweating this back again. But yeah, I don't know what it is we can see when we watch these football games. And I can watch them. Look, sometimes it's the punt return. And I understand Dante Hall was a better punt returner than he was receiver. You can look great in a punt return and not be as good of a receiver. I understand that. But it's like I watch his athleticism and then I watch when he gets the ball and how hard he runs and the way he runs in space for this offense. And I just don't understand how you mentioned he got 22 snaps, right? Better than it's been in the previous week. And that's about what he was getting before. 70% of those came in the first half. So is there some reason that why it started to get tight, you just wouldn't put him back out on the field? He's your most athletic player. I just want them. I think some of this comes back to what Nate Taylor told us a month ago. And he's going to join us today at 1, which is he said by this time Eric Bieniemy would have shrunk the rotation of wide receivers so that you're just like, well, these are our guys and we're going with it. And I don't care if that includes Justin Watson, which it obviously would. And then he thought, well, the bye week is a logical time that if they're going to do this, they're going to do it. Instead, they expanded it. They took away from the top end. They gave MVS, Sky Moore, and Rashee Rice all less and gave all the bottom guys, the guys who were below them so far this season, more. And then it was just like everyone was between 25% of the snaps and 50% of the snaps with no one really. And it's just like, I don't like it.
I don't have the snap numbers in front of me. I actually think that might have been the most snaps Rashee Rice percentage-wise has played all year, though. So as much as we want to be, I believe his snaps continue to go up. They've gone up from.
I'd have to look. Maybe his went up.
So I think even though the targets weren't there, I actually think I don't really have a huge issue overall with how much Rashee Rice snap wise, percentage wise. It's that when he's on the field, is the trust there? Mahomes trusts Justin Watson. He just does.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he's in the rotation.
This guy got 11 targets for a reason last night.
And if he had held on to the ball, would have had a 90-yard game probably, right?
I mean, if you go back to the press conferences too, guys, Andy and Patrick Mahomes have both said, I trust Rashee Rice. Like, they brought it up, and Andy's like, Pat trusts him. His average, I'm looking at his average, his ADOT, if you will, average depth per target. Rashee Rice this year is 5.7 yards. They don't. The way that they scheme him, he runs short yardage routes. So if the defense is clamped on him, he never runs further than that because they never scheme him further than that. Justin Watson, on the other hand, is 22. Average throw to him is 22 yards in the air. And I know that he had all those targets, but at what point do we see Matt Nagy and Andy Reid say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put Rashee Rice in MVS's spot, and he's going to run a go route. And we'll see.
Get someone else in the slot?
And we'll see if he can do it. We'll put Richie James in the slot because he hasn't done anything yet because he hasn't played. We'll see what he can do because Sky Moore can't do anything. Like, at what point do they just try whatever they possibly can to get one of those deep balls? Because it's not working with MVS. It hasn't. Justin Watson's dropping passes. At what point do you say, you know what, Rasheed, we're going to put you in a position to go and get one of these passes?
It was the fourth highest percentage of snaps he's had this year. So 57% of the snaps. Week 9, he had 68%, so quite a bit higher. The week before that, he had 61%. The week before, they had 59. So pretty much about where he has been since he took the jump up in snap percentage. But the problem is what I'm looking at. MVS 47, Sky Moore 51, Rashee Rice 57, Justin Watson 63, Tony 28, McColl 20. Gotta tighten it. That just simply put. Take away all the calls.
I know, Cody, but it's week 12. We've been saying this for a month and a half, man.
I know.
It's like, that's why when we started the show.
I keep asking if it's not working. I don't understand why they don't see that the offense stinks and don't think maybe we should change something.
We started the show with it. At some point, this is who they are, at least in the second half. Like, this is the group that they have. This is who they are as an offense. At some point, it's not like, I'm extremely patient over the last couple of years when it came to the defense and saying, hey, man, don't freak out. Don't freak out about it's 5 weeks in and the defense will get better. And usually that did happen, by the way. This year, we both actually, for the first month, were like, patience. It's week 12.
Yeah, patience is gone.
This is who the football team is. The only thing that's correctable we'll get back into later, which is turnovers. That's how they can improve offensively. But suddenly, do I think that MVS is going to catch everything? No. This is who he is as an NFL player. Yeah. In Green Bay, he had 6 other drops just like the one last night. That's who he is. And Justin Watson's a number 5 wide receiver that you're trying to give him 11 targets like he's Tyreek Hill.
Don't you owe us a bottle of Dom if for some reason he still leads this team in receiving?
Yeah, he's not going to lead the team in receiving.
How many times?
Had he stayed healthy, you would have lost that bet.
I think
had Justin Watson not gotten hurt, would you have lost the bet?
This year?
Yes.
I'm not sure where I don't have the numbers in front of me. I don't know where we're pacing for.
How many games did he miss? 2? 3?
Justin Watson got hurt. He hasn't really missed this year.
I thought he missed some time.
There's
did he
one.
Not?
He had the remember he played through the brace.
It was the elbow.
He's
hurt.
I
don't know if it was
think
one
he only
week
missed like one
he
game.
He might have only missed the one game.
He's got 329 right now. Just so you know.
How many times? I think it's one time that we've seen Matt Nagy really rip into the offense, and I don't know if I know that Patrick will always protect his guys, but at what point do we see somebody just other than Travis Kelce just unload on the wide? And I don't know if because
that's not how they. Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. I was looking it up earlier. We don't have to get like bogged down in other teams or whatever. But somebody was just pointing out, like, somebody specifically said, this is what Tom Brady had to deal with for the 2004 Patriots. And I was like, well, now you have my curiosity, so I guess I'll look it up. They were 14-2 that year, and they won the Super Bowl. And I was like, wow, they had the number 2 scoring defense in the NFL. And I was like, okay, so what the hell are you even talking about? Tom Brady was pretty mediocre that year. He finished with 3,600 yards, 28 touchdowns, 14 picks. It was one of his highest pick numbers ever. The wide receivers he was throwing to that year did make me feel a little bit better about, like, if you just want to wake up and be like, okay, they can still win the Super Bowl. It stinks. It's not a good feeling today, but they can. His leading wide receiver that year was David Givens. Do you even know who that is? I've never even heard that name. His second leading wide receiver was David Patton. Do you know who that is? Again, not sure. Third was Deion Branch. We're at least familiar with him. He got hurt and only played in 9 games. Fourth was Daniel Graham, the tight end. And I was like, oh. And they finished with 874, 800, 454 was the third leading receiver in that team, and they won the Super Bowl. So I'm not going to bury the Chiefs, right? That helps at least, Gold, right? Neither of us think that they can't win the Super Bowl this year. I'm just frustrated by the offense.
The defense is why they can still win the Super Bowl. Pretty simple. Defense last night makes me feel even better about what they were able to do for 95% of that football game against Jalen Hurts and company. But the offense is frustrating because I think a lot of people did see it coming, and the progression just hasn't happened whatsoever. The other part of offense last night, the first half, Isaiah Pacheco, they were dominating the offense, the line of scrimmage with the offensive line. They were having success running the football. And then in the second half, I know Mahomes said that, the Eagles were starting to play up, so they were challenging them to throw it, so maybe the running opportunity wasn't there. But the Chiefs had 114 rushing yards. That was the first half.
That was the most the Eagles had given up in a game this year.
Yeah.
Was what they had in the first half. That's incredible, right? I think that taught us the valuable lesson that you've been preaching for a few weeks anyway, so I'll give you credit. They should run more. If the offense isn't going to be successful, become a run team. You're actually pretty good at it. That was the league's best run defense, and you took it to them yesterday. For as much as we said the offensive line didn't play well, really all I meant was from a pass blocking perspective. From a run blocking perspective, how could I complain?
Even the 4th and 1, they decided to go old school, halfback dive right up the gut. It was a beautiful thing. And then unfortunately the turnover happened like a play or two later. I think that was the drive, right? That Kelsey had the red zone fumble. I'm fine. Run Pacheco into the damn ground. I don't care. I know Carrington tweeted out last night, the sad thing is they're going to run him in the ground and then they won't pay him. I'm not Isaiah Pacheco. I'm not his agent. Not my problem. His job right now is to help this football team win. I have no feed Isaiah Pacheco over and over. I have no problem with that whatsoever. They should have done it more.
Yes. Again,
their best drives this season. Go back and look. Their best drives this year with this lack of explosiveness, their best drives involve drives in which they run the ball like 4+ times on that particular drive, and Pacheco has success.
Yeah.
Throughout the entire year.
They ran it 6 times on a drive that eventually ended in the Travis Kelce fumble, and they should have run it that much. Their best drives, they're a decent running team. They just don't really stick to it. And because every game is going to be close now, which is fine. I can accept the goal. We're going to have to do some heart attack stuff. It's going to suck, right? Fourth quarter, pressure time, always going to be like, oh, can they get the one more stop on defense? Right? We're going to go through that a lot with the Chiefs this year. I'm fine with it. Just as long as they make sure the running game doesn't cost them. Because the one game that they completely got run, even close to run out of the building on, and even that game was still close, was the Broncos game. And they didn't run it at all. And that was the league's worst run defense. They got to stick with it probably the rest of the way and figure out some creative ways to probably get McKinnon more involved.
McKinnon's still not involved much.
As much as I asked for Clyde to never get another snap, if you got to run it 25 times, you're going to have to give it to McKinnon and Clyde more, but you got to give it to Pacheco more too.
Yeah, they're really not utilizing McKinnon. And, I think a lot of this still all comes back around to the wide receiver problems. Because if you hear from Mahomes, and he said this after the game, talking about not running it as much.
They came up and they forced us to throw the football, and we didn't answer the bell. I didn't make good enough passes in certain situations, and we have to prove that we can do both. It can't be just running, can't be just passing. We have to prove that we can do both, and that's something we have to continue to work on as the season continues.
When you put 114 yards on the ground in the first half, the Eagles clearly are going to emphasize it at halftime that, hey, we're going to shut down this run. They're going to have to beat us through the air. It's a weird time we're in, but teams are saying, we don't believe that Patrick Mahomes with this wide receiver group can beat us. And they're right.
They weren't wrong. Although,
they're right.
Again, if MVS just catches the ball, they're wrong.
But that's part of the equation. though. It's that the wide receivers aren't making plays. There's blame to go on the coaching staff, plenty of it. But on that play, even MVS, they got him open. They got him pretty much wide open down the field. Players have to also execute, and they don't have the horses to do it. And that's where the discussion around Brett Veach and how they assembled the roster is definitely fair.
That's part of why I was interested in Michael Carter a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't think he's the solution.
I don't think so either. I just wanted another body back there because I think, I just think that at this point they should start evaluating how they play a little bit from a run perspective. I don't want the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands still in like important moments, but because I still know what he does. But I do wonder if they should just lean on it more. They didn't run it very much in the second half. And they had a 10-point lead at one point. Are you sure you don't want to just go back to the ground and see if you can't put together a drive? And they did that eventually in the Travis Kelce fumble drive, but it was just like too late at that point, and they couldn't put it back together.
Trash of the day.
All right, we'll step away from the Chiefs just for a couple minutes, and we'll get right back into the Chiefs during the red half hour. This takes us to something that everybody's dealing with, of course, Thanksgiving on Thursday. And I don't know if you're having a bunch of people over, if you're going, whatever. But a plumbing company is warning U.S. residents about not Black Friday, Brown Friday. Yeah, it's a real thing. The busiest day of the year is the day after Thanksgiving.
What, people just clogging their toilets?
Roto-Rooter said Brown Friday is the busiest day of the year, 50% more calls than average Friday. Thanksgiving weekend overall averages 21% more calls. The company said the main culprits, clogs in kitchen sinks, toilets, garbage disposals. People don't know what, they're putting stuff in the sink they shouldn't, down the garbage disposal they shouldn't. People putting cooking oils, down the sink. Obviously, you can't be putting fat and grease down the sink. Stuff like that, and it's causing problems. It's a very popular day. So if we hear a story next week from you, how Cody had to take apart Cody had to take apart his sink and garbage disposal. That's what I'm saying. And yeah. Brown Friday.
Well, that's
and Black Friday.
That's gross, for starters. I've never noticed. I guess at the Tapp family household, as many as there were kids, there were. I don't remember a plumber having to have it come out on.
Yeah, we've never had that either.
Says even more potato skins down the disposal. I always throw those in the trash anyway, but I guess I wouldn't have thought that they couldn't go down the disposal.
It says poultry skins. Poultry skins.
Oh, this says potato skins.
Oh, the article says poultry skins, potato peels, celery fruit.
Potato peels. So that's they're saying that one too.
So and celery fruit. Yeah.
If I'm peeling something, I just peel it directly into the trash can. The one thing that people make the mistake in the garbage disposal all the time is just how much you think you can stick down there. This is meant to pick up the scraps here. Don't be putting whole meals, like if you're emptying out an old piece of Tupperware in the fridge, don't just shove that thing with a stick down the garbage disposal and turn it on.
No, but I know plenty of people that do the potato peels, and maybe not the potatoes. Like they'll peel a potato and they'll
into the sink.
Plenty of people, yeah.
Huh, you're not supposed to do that.
Well, that's what they're saying, yeah.
You should probably tell, if you know plenty of people, this is definitely your family you're talking about. Tell them to stop. Tell your family to stop. Tell them to just put that into the garbage can. Yeah. Do you do anything for your family for Thanksgiving? Do you even help do any prep work? Like if you get over there and they're still working on the potatoes, do you peel one?
They don't want me doing anything.
Do you do a little chopping?
No, they don't ask. They don't want.
Do you put a salad together?
Nope. I smoked a turkey one year. Remember that? But no, my mom handles all that. She loves it. That's her. This is her thing. She loves it.
That's what everyone always says about not helping. They're like, they love it that I don't.
She does though. She doesn't want me. In fact, when I go over there, I do nothing. When I go over there though, they're like, no, go down in the basement with the nephews and everybody and go hang out with them. They don't want my brother-in-law, my dad. They don't want us near the kitchen. They want us away so they can just gossip and cook. I'm dead serious. You can ask the truth. That is exactly what they tell us every year.
They say don't even be near the kitchen.
Yeah,
I want you looking.
They'd rather just stay out of their way. They'd rather stay out of their way. I'm just telling you.
If you pick up a spatula, so help me.
Someone says, how come you guys haven't talked about the inexperienced wide receivers coach? Because other than 1% of you on Twitter, nobody knows who the hell he was anyway, or is anyway. So that's why.
Is Connor Embry. He's a first-year wide receiver coach. That's all I really... I mean, honest to God, if you made me rank their offensive problems from 1 to 100, Connor Embry, the wide receiver coach, might be 50. Yeah, it's going to take me a while before I'm like, I'd get to Nagy a lot faster, get to the actual wide receivers. I talk about Mahomes. I talk about
90% of Chiefs fans have no clue who he is. That's why we don't talk about him.
We should do an informal poll on the text line.
The text line's also not an accurate one. That's I'm talking about the average Chiefs fan. Do you think other than Reed, Spags, Tobe?
I'm just gonna be honest with you. Up until 2 weeks ago, I didn't know.
Well, that's my point.
Was the wide receiver
that's
coach,
my point.
And I host sports radio for a living.
That's the point. That's exactly the point.
Someone says, isn't the wide receiver coach from KU?
He is.
Yes, he is. Also, if you start going through which schools all the coaches went through, we're really going to get down a rabbit hole that we don't want to be down.
Someone says, knowing what I know now, I want him out. What do you know now? What, that somebody on social media said he's not good?
Because he stumbled over some words in a media availability?
Yeah, right. Anyway.
Someone says they look him up every year. Man, no way. Even I don't do that.
Again, you're one of the 10% then. Good for you.
I mean, it's fine.
I don't know
if
if it's
you wanna do
10%. It might be less than
Yeah,
that.
I'm trying to be generous, I guess.
Just real quick, Drew, you're a fan of the Cincinnati Bengals. Do you know their wide receivers coach name?
I do not.
Do you know their offensive line coach's name?
Yes, Frank Pollock.
Oh, there you go. See, we got one.
That's because
their O-line stinks.
the O-line is really bad. So, yes, it does come up.
That's the only reason you know. You didn't know the wide receivers coach name for years because
Correct.
it didn't.
Because T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, they take care of things pretty well, along with the others.
That's true. Oh, man. Okay. Well, yeah, we're not going to talk
I
about
get it.
Connor
People
Embry
want
today.
people.
You want it? You want a scapegoat?
Yeah, this happens in all sports.
Yeah.
It's very somebody has to be blamed for the problems. I would choose to blame Andy Reid and the wide receivers themselves if you want to know the truth.
Mm-hmm. Or the offensive coordinator before we get there. Or how about the passing game coordinator? I mean, can we, before we get to, wide receiver coach, can I go through some hierarchy? Can I complain about Joe Blameyer? Look that up, by
honestly,
the way. Wouldn't have known that was the passing game coordinator, but I do now.
Yeah, I mean, if we're playing the blame game, at the top, it is the wide receivers themselves. Then it's Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Then it's Brett Veach. Then it's Matt Nagy, and we can keep going from there. That's how I would lay it
I might
out.
put Veach second, but yeah, we're pretty close here.
Yeah.
And then somewhere in there is Mahomes a little because he's been off. So,
all right.
Before I get to Connor Embry.
All right, coming up next, though, we will get right back into the Chiefs Red half hour and talk about this defense that is even better than we thought.
Cody and Gold.
Last and probably most important question. Are, in fact, all opinions like buttholes?
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
We're with Dr. Brandon Kramer, board-certified urologist at Kansas City Urology Care. Doctor, tell us why it's important to see a urologist for erectile dysfunction.
As men get older, not only can they have problems with erections, but they could have a low testosterone, they can develop prostate cancer, they can have trouble going to the bathroom. And as a urologist, we're uniquely qualified to offer all treatments. If the first treatment doesn't work, we can keep on moving down the road until we find something that works for you. Not only can we give pills or injections or a pump, we're also qualified to do surgery.
So KCUC urologists treat the whole person as well as the ED.
They're not just going to focus on the one thing, have you pay cash and get you out the door. We're going to work with you and work with your insurance to get the right treatments at a really affordable price.
If you suffer from ED, see the experts. Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit appointments.kcurology.com.
Looking for an easy way to get more protein? Try delicious Ensure Max protein shakes. They have 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and 150 calories. And they come in 7 flavors so tasty, you won't believe there are 30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar. No, really, it's true. These shakes have 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and flavor that's that good. Get a $3 coupon at Ensure.com/instant coupon. Delicious Ensure Max Protein. 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. Seriously.
Is your payment too much or your interest rate too high? I'm Jeff Davis, owner of Volkswagen Lease Summit, and it's time to switch and save.
Switch and save your way at Volkswagen Lease Summit. Get a low sign then drive lease and pay $0 down and $0 next month. Or switch your rate and get as low as 3.9% for 72 months. Or save by getting $1,000 more for your trade.
Don't miss out. Switch and save at Volkswagen Lease Summit. Visit VWLeaseSummit.com.
Financing through VCI OAC.
Your favorite team is always trying to get the best lineup on the field, and now Sonic is giving your cheeseburger the most burgier lineup ever. Bacon News here, and get ready for Sonic's bold and tangy hickory barbecue and indulgent garlic butter bacon cheeseburgers, taking your game to a whole new level, starting at just $3.99. Whether at the tailgate or after a weekly practice, you'll love Sonic's hickory burger and garlic butter bacon cheeseburgers. But don't wait, the burger lineup is only available at Sonic for a limited time.
Priority Auto Repair of Lease Summit is your full-stop shop for all your auto repair needs with expert technicians from clutch to transmissions, heating, AC, engine repair, belts and brakes, wheel alignment, oil changes, and more. All you need to do is go to leesummitautororepair.com to learn more and get a free estimate. Call 816-575-6058 or check out the website, leesummitautororepair.com. Priority Auto Repair. Remember the name, where quality meets affordability, and you're always their number one priority.
Hey, Chiefs Kingdom, it's Bob Fesco. This NFL season, Crown Royal is celebrating the generous hosts that make game day royal. To the fans that open their doors and celebrate Kansas City game day, cheering on our tight end with a plate full of burnt ends. So raise a glass for the hosts of every watch party and kick off with Crown. Because Crown Royal believes if you live generously, life will treat you royally. Visit kickoffwithcrown.com to find out how Crown is living generously all season long. Please drink responsibly.
Amazon's got the best deals on Black Friday. Know the best deals are on Cyber Monday. Friday comes first when it comes to saving. Monday's worth the wait for what you've been craving. Deals so good it'll feel like stealing. Real cool message, could you make it less appealing? What's with the beef? You can get that too. Won't you call us? What's triggering you? Whichever day you're shopping on, you'll save a bunch at Amazon. Black Friday, Cyber Monday too.
Don't miss Provember at Lowe's. Save $80 on a DeWalt combo kit and save $20 on a 5-gallon pail of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams All-Purpose Power Primer. Plus, MVP's members earn 3 times the bonus points on DeWalt and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams products. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Bonus points calculated before tax and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 11/22, subject to change.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Time is of the essence with COVID-19. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Learn more at treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Mostly cloudy today, a little sun, a high of 45.
Weather brought to you by Total Wine & More. With so many bottles to choose from, it's easy to find your favorite and new ones. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, always find what you love and love what you find only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. B21.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage on 610 Sports Radio is brought to you by Park & Go. Book parkandgo.com.
Tackle your airport parking needs at Park & Go. Always the best service and always the best price at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7 and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and operated.
Chiefs Kingdom. This is Mitch Holtis, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour on Cody and Gold. Every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner, the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
All right, it is the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Reminder coming up at 1 o'clock today. Nate Taylor from The Athletic, our Chiefs insider. He was at Arrowhead last night. He was in the locker room last night. I saw him. He was asking questions to Travis Kelce, who I think the whole sequence lasted like 35 seconds, as Travis Kelce, understandably so, was just pissed off last night. Red zone turnover, offense did nothing yet again in the second half. So we'll get Nate Taylor's perspective on all that coming up a little bit later on the show. I did want to start the Red Half Hour talking about this defense, though, because as much as the frustration is warranted on the offensive side, I think we do have to step back and recognize on the defensive side that this defense is even better than we thought, Cody. And this was already a defense we thought was pretty damn good. They're better than we even, like last night, you come away feeling even better about this defensive unit. Seeing what they were able to, they dominated the line of scrimmage against a pretty good offensive line in Philadelphia. One of the better units, as a matter of fact, in the NFL. That was awfully impressive. The tush push didn't even come into play till the third quarter. That means you were keeping the Eagles out of third and shorts, which is their bread and butter. It's automatic for them. You were getting sacks. You had 2 sacks from McDuffie, 2 sacks from Chris Jones, who give him a ton of credit because he called it. He called his shot last Friday. He said, I'm not worried about my numbers. I'm going to hit my numbers. Out of the bye week, the dude gets 2 sacks, almost had a third, but they said it was a designed quarterback run from Jalen Hurts. Karlaftis gets a sack. Snead has an interception. A.J. Brown gets shut down. 8 receiving yards for A.J. Brown, who's going to finish with, 1,500 this year?
Maybe more. At least, right? He had 5 consecutive games of 130 yards and a touchdown in the middle of the game, and they completely locked him up. No, it's incredible. You have to remember that the Eagles, this year included, over the last 3 seasons, they have been the gold standard of play in the trenches. Gold standard. And the Chiefs dominated them on the defensive line versus their offensive line. They are, as you pointed out, considered one of the best offensive lines in the entire league. They held them almost 2 full a touchdown after they got to 21. A touchdown below their season average in points, which is what they're holding every team, by the way. And like you said, held down A.J. Brown. They can go to anybody. Like, we don't have to have these conversations anymore. When we make predictions for what games are going to look like, assume that the opponent has 21 points or less than that. When you're thinking about, hey, what's the Raiders score final going to be on Sunday? I'll tell you right now, the Raiders will have less than 21 points. I can lock myself in there. And I can tell you that Devontae Adams is not going to beat him because they get pressure. They're good at getting sacks. They have the best secondary in the entire NFL. And they're doing all of this for 3 games. For the last 2 games, they've gone against the number 1 and number 3 scoring offense in the NFL without, I think, before the game, people thought was a top 3 player on their defense. They don't even miss him. I can't even tell Nick Bolton's gone.
They're doing this out of Nick Bolton. That's a credit to Drew Tranquill and the entire linebacking unit for stepping up. I just think Steve Spagnuolo, specifically the first half, put on an absolute masterclass. And nobody has mastered disguising cornerback blitzes and getting his players to master it, I guess.
He's great at that.
Then Steve Spagnuolo. He's been incredible at it. And so the frustration is warranted on the offensive side, and it's a problem. But on the defensive side, that's why you don't completely freak out. That's not why you completely throw in the towel. This defense is why you're able to still sit here at 7-3 and have faith that they're still going to find a way to rattle off wins to be the number 1 seed. Why you're still confident, at least I am, that this defense can put them in a position to win a Super Bowl still. It's because of the defensive unit. So the offense is what it is. But this defense gives them a chance. It's backwards, completely backwards from where we've all been when we've talked about this football team for the last 5 years, really. It's normally been, hey, you've got a chance to win every game because of Patrick Mahomes. And there's some truth to that still, okay?
Yeah, he's trying to make some throws in that final drive that were great.
But his guys are dropping passes all over the place more than anybody else in the league. But this defense is why they have a chance to win against anybody. There are 3 losses this year. The Broncos, obviously, is the terrible one. But 3 losses this year. 2 of them have happened against the other 3 best records in football. If you look at the best records in football, the Chiefs are one of the 4 still, and best teams. And Detroit, week 1 loss, almost identical game, I still feel like, to last night in terms
Very
of
similar,
what happened.
Where everything got screwed up, they turned the ball over, and then they still could have won it. Yeah.
And then we all know the loss that they had last night. So, I mean, these 2 opponents, luckily NFC opponents, the defense was not the problem. The defense stepped up. This isn't one of those where, man, the defense, when it came to playing the best, they just weren't there. No more proving it. I need to see them do it. They have done it against everybody.
Yes.
This is who they are. They're one of the best defenses in football. It's not changing. And they're able to win the battle at the line of scrimmage against that kind of offensive line. That means they can win it against anybody. You do that against Philly, you can do it against anybody.
Yeah, you are going to get pressure the rest of the way. They're currently second, by the way, in the NFL in sacks per game across the board. And they don't let up sacks. There's a huge difference. The Chiefs do shoot themselves in the foot. There's no doubt. Especially with the turnovers, which seemingly, and the drops, which you'd previously mentioned. Those 2 things really do hurt your chance to win. Defensively, they get called for penalties, and it does not slow them down. Like, okay, yeah, they get a little physical, so L'Jarius Sneed got called for another one. You know why we haven't talked about this year? You know why we haven't talked about the fact that L'Jarius Sneed leads all corners in the entire NFL in penalties called? Because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, Spags will take it because he wants them to be physical, and that's part of what makes Sneed so effective, why he shut down Justin Jefferson and A.J. Brown and Tyreek Hill. Amon-Ra St. Brown, week 1, was held to 71 yards. That's how he plays. And we know they're not going to call you for holding in a illegal contact or anything like that on an every play basis. So you're going to risk it. You're going to roll the dice. They're going to get you on 1 or 2 a game. But it's worth it when you're playing at the level that L'Jarius Sneed is playing at.
It's very reassuring because I was hesitant a couple weeks ago. We came in here after the Miami game before the bye, and you were like, Defense can win a Super Bowl. Doesn't matter what the offense does the rest of the year. And now we're coming off a game in which we're even more frustrated by the offense's ability to score. And somehow I'm now on board with you because that's back-to-back games. Back-to-back games. And at the time, Miami was averaging 35 points a game, and Philly was averaging 29 points a game, and they held them way below their averages, respectively. They held down their top scoring weapons. They keep winning against everyone's defensive line. And I had questions. Going into the year about whether or not this collection of guys was good enough, but clearly are. Karlaftis is going to finish with double-digit sacks, like I had said before the season. Chris Jones is going to finish with double-digit sacks. Dana's going to get damn close, and that's before you even talk about the corner blitzes. Let's separate that for just a minute, because to me, that is one of the most impressive things about their entire unit this year, and it's what separates them kind of the way like the tush-push separates the Eagles offensively. The thing the Chiefs do great that no other team in the NFL can do the way they do is corner blitzes. How often was Trent McDuffie on Jalen Hurts' ass yesterday? In the backfield, multiple times. Every single time he went. I saw Mike Edwards. It's like just whatever defender they want to send. Right there, blitzes timed perfectly. The secondary blitz is like
that's where
the
Spags,
secret attack.
That's where Spags is at his back. He disguises it, puts guys in different spots. They rotate so much different personnel on the defensive line too, where if you're Jalen Hurts, there's so many things to focus and worry about pre-snap that you get lost. And also, I feel like Spags was ultra aggressive last night in the first half. If you go and look, I mean, you couldn't have been much more aggressive at times. They got after Jalen Hurts, and he was uncomfortable. I had some people texting me last night that just cover teams across the team in the country and other markets, and they're like, "Is Jalen Hurts is he hurt? Is he not? He didn't look right." He was healthy for the most part last night. He's got a little brace or whatever or padding on his left knee, but that was because the defense, this defense is elite. And, yeah, it used to be we always talk about Snead being the guy blitzing. They're utilizing McDuffie in that way now because they're trusting Snead more on the coverage. And not that McDuffie can't cover. Of course
they just don't care which guy covers because they trust both guys to blitz.
And that's the flexibility. What makes it so tough to distinguish
who's going
is because it could be any of them. It could be
either
either guy.
Sometimes, and Edwards and a million other people. I think that is what makes it work. And the fact that they got so many good cover corners must be why he's willing to do it. Because generally, you would be like, whoa. Trent McDuffie might be the best cover corner in the entire NFL. I think he should be a first-team All-Pro. You sure you want to? They've got two really good wide receivers. You know that, right? Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown are very good. And they're still willing to send him because they're like, it'll be fine. We'll cover it.
Mike Clay, NFL, sent out these numbers about L'Jarius Sneed in particular. So Sneed for 9 straight games. These are the yardage totals he's given up. Contract year for L'Jarius Sneed. Calvin Ridley, 2 catches, 32 yards. DJ Moore, 3 catches, 41 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson, 3 catches, 28 yards. Jerry Jeudy, 3 catches, 14 yards. Josh Palmer, okay, bear with me on that one. 5 catches, 133 yards.
That's a bit of a stretch.
Cortland Sutton, 2 catches, 29 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 8 catches, 62 yards. And A.J. Brown last night, 1 catch for 8 yards. He's been as good as anybody in football against top-tier wide receivers. The one exception is Josh Palmer. That's it.
I do like that this is culminating in the Chiefs having mid-season extension conversations. Because if I were the Chiefs, I'd be like, dude, if he hits free agency, it ain't gonna happen. We're not gonna be there. And if you lose Chris Jones and you lose Dana and you lose whatever, right? There's a lot of players they could lose. At least you could keep what makes you unique. You have the best corner tandem in the NFL. I kind of like keeping that together when it's going great. Since we're just talking extensions, I just wanted to address the one thing that I still can't understand continues to come up, even after we told you a month ago to let it go. Why am I still having people in my mentions be like, I thought you told me they don't miss Tyreek. It's not what I said. I never said they don't miss Tyreek on offense. They obviously do. I just don't care that he left. And you know why I don't care is because they won a pretty big game. It's called, Alex, if you've never heard of it, it's called the Super Bowl. And they won it without Tyreek Hill. So I don't care.
Yeah, I saw that a lot nationally yesterday.
I don't care. They won the Super Bowl, so I don't care. You know what else they could do this year? Win it again. Will they? Don't know. Will they miss? Would they have liked having Tyreek? Yeah. Do I also like having an all-pro corner in Trent McDuffie that wouldn't be on this team without Tyreek? I do.
Yeah, I mean, of course Tyreek Hill makes this offense better. Duh. Nobody's arguing that. But as you laid out there, this team won a Super Bowl last year. And not only would they maybe not have Trent McDuffie, but financially, guys that have helped this defense. I don't know if Mike Edwards is here. I don't know if Charles Menahue's here. Drew Tranquil is probably not here. Like, we forget that kind of stuff as well. And that's not a local thing. That's more I see nationally some people tweeting that. I think locally people understand the dynamics there. Obviously, Tyreek Hill would change everything with this offense. But there's no such thing as a perfect 53-man roster. It doesn't exist.
This year in the NFL proves it even more than ever.
And right now, the Chiefs' clear strength and one of the best units in all of football is the defense. And their offense is one of the worst. In the second half, they are the worst. And their offense in the first half somehow is one of the best. Make it make sense for me. I don't know. That's why they're 14th, not 28th overall. They're still 14th offensively. But compared to where this offense has been, it feels like they're the worst offense in football. They're middle of the road. It feels like they're the worst offense in football.
I have a hard time imagining sometimes that there are 18 offenses worse than the Chiefs, but there are, which I guess should make me feel slightly better. I know that sometimes we feel like a broken record on this show, not even on purpose, but because I'm just asking for small things and I don't understand why I can't have them. Last night, and I know people are going to say revisionist, but I'm going to tell you that I was sitting on the couch and I said that they should go for it at the
I believe you.
And you know my stance generally in those moments is to go for it. Last night, when it is 4th and 4 from the 39-yard line and the Chiefs had the ball, conservative Andy hurts my soul because they got back the yardage in 2 plays, just for starters. They ended up going to score a touchdown on that drive anyway. But also, this is where I want the flip of these things to be true. There was a time, I think, when they would be more aggressive on defense because they're like, no worries, the offense will save us. The defense can save you too. If you don't get that 4th and 4, you have Patrick Mahomes. You have the greatest quarterback in the NFL and one of the greatest minds in the NFL.
And one of the worst wide receivers in the NFL.
I know, but the other two are great. So
because we can't also talk about this. We can't for 90% of the show talk about how the wide receivers are horrific and awful, and then say on 4th and 4 you've got Mahomes to throw the ball. Oh, let's not forget the drops can apply on 4th and 4 as well.
Yes, but he's more capable than anyone, and this is as much about the defense for me as it is the offense. Your defense had shut them down. Trust them. That if you don't get the 4th and 4 that you're there. They did that for 19 yards of field position, man. 19 yards. Worthless yards. Or at the least, let Harrison Butker kick the damn thing through for 57 yards. He's perfect on the season. Why can't Butker kick it? I know that it was windy and slightly cold, but he made one from that distance in pregame.
So I believe you. That was your take before the punt happened.
Yes.
So bear with me as I say this. Obviously, in hindsight, should not have punted it. But
so you're saying if you knew the results of the punt, you're going to go for it.
But I want to remind people how that play, that special teams play turned out. It was the best punt of the night from Townsend. And this might stun you because I know we've talked about how great the hands are with the wide receivers today. But Justin Watson wasn't able to down the ball and catch it at the 1.
Wait,
so they would have had, I know, stunning that a ball
Justin
went through
Watson
his hands.
it?
I know, stunning that the wide receivers couldn't catch the ball. But they would have had him pinned back at the 1-yard line. I actually think, so the execution is my issue. I don't have as big of a problem with the punt. It obviously backfired in a huge way. But they would have had them pinned back at the 1-yard line. And I know the Eagles ended up driving on the shorter field. But with this defense, I will take every circumstance where with this defense right now that a team has to go 99 yards on me.
They win 80.
It was executed.
They win 80. What's 99? It's 18 more yards.
20 yards. Talk to the Chiefs red zone offense. That extra 15 yards is a big big deal
for the score. I mean,
that 15 yards is a big deal for. Ask Travis Kelce with the fumble last night what an extra 14 yards meant. It meant a fumble.
Yeah, it did. But I mean, they weren't going 99 yards in that scenario. But
I hear you on the punt thing. Tommy Townsend had a rough night. It was not
he
good.
did,
but that punt wasn't the problem. That should have been down at the 1-yard line.
But I just go for it. Do the opposite. Not trust your we'll punt it away and we'll trust our defense. Just trust your defense to do something if your offense comes up short this time. Because that's the other part. The wide receivers might drop it, but I also have Patrick Mahomes' legs on 4th and 4, which I think has got a decent likelihood to get a first down. I think there's a lot of I just think when you are a creative offensive mind and you have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, you can take those chances even more so when your defense is there. Did anyone else, by the way, did you absolutely die? We went through that whole game. Watch all those drops, and then that clip that went viral right after of the fan even dropping?
Mahomes was trying to be nice. He was going to throw like a towel or whatever to a fan in the first row, and the fan dropped it. And so Mahomes had to then go pick it up. But the fan's not even catching it. Everybody was dropping everything from Mahomes.
That was just like, it was like the perfect little cap to the evening. You're like, no, not even like the fans can't catch it. I just think that they can be more aggressive than they are sometimes offensively. And some of that comes with downfield throws. They took more downfield throws in this game. I'll say this. The running game definitely opened that up. It opened up the ability to try downfield. And on 3 of them, I don't think Mahomes did anything wrong. I blamed him. I think some of that, like in previous games where I thought maybe he was less his touch. He had MVS right in the hands. I have no idea what MVS was doing on that other route when he just like stumbled over his own feet and looked really weird. And then Justin Watson clearly
ran the wrong route. He cut inside.
Yeah, for no reason. Towards the safety, which I guess is just not the way to do it. And Andy and Patrick both had things to say to him. So in some of those deep balls, in that game in particular, maybe, if I'm just trying to be an optimist, maybe if they run the ball this effectively, there are some shots for some deep opportunities that we haven't seen in this offense in a while. They just happen to hit 0 of them.
Yeah, I mean, some of
it's hit a 40-yard completion.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I mean, some of it goes back to Dana Hughes this morning. He was talking about discipline and attention to detail, and that's part of the problem right now with the wide receivers.
The attention to detail matters. It does matter in the game of football. It's a game of inches. Also, from a receiver standpoint, when you're talking about separation and attacking the football and proper hand placement, how do you catch the ball? How do you look the ball into your hands, in your arm, and then covering up in traffic? Watch these guys run routes. You got mirrored routes in pregame warm-up, and one side of the field, they're running the same exact route. One side of the field runs a 10-yard hook. The other side of the field runs a 12-yard hook. I'm like, the route is 12 yards. That's what it is. That's how it's drawn up. It's a 12-yard hook. Run it the way it's supposed to run to where you're supposed to be.
This sounds like basic stuff, man. Surely you have to go back to the basics, right? But that's what it sounds like. Go back to like the fundamentals and the most basic of basic stuff that they're just not paying attention to detail. So that's coaching to me. That's coaching. Yeah. That's where I'll hear people on wanting to blame Matt Nagy and Andy Reid. That sounds like there's nobody.
Embry? Hold on, wait.
That sounds like nobody is on these guys' ass basically to be disciplined. I mean, that's Dana Hughes, who played in the league, who played wide receiver. He's talking about even basic stuff during warm-ups that theoretically they're not doing properly. Small stuff, details. But when your offense doesn't have the margin of error that it once had, this stuff matters.
This is where I still think they miss Bieniemy.
On the discipline part, maybe so. Yeah. Someone that's a hard ass, maybe so.
Nagy's a little bit of
that part of it. I don't think scheme and stuff is the problem. I really don't. But the detail stuff, I know Andy's a player's coach. Someone needs to straighten them out a little bit.
Yeah, they need the ass whip a little bit, right? Like the person to just go in there and straighten some stuff out. I'm telling you right now, I would just put like a jugs machine at the front door, and just like you got to catch like 30 of these before you can even come to this meeting. Just stand out there and put it in front of your nice car. Really make you earn it. You got to stand in front of your BMW, and the jugs machine's firing bullets, and you got to make the catches so that it doesn't put a dent in your ride. That's I'm down to that at this point.
Shouldn't the players want to do that though? Like coaching obviously should give them a kick in the pants, but as a player, if you're dropping the ball that much, there should be something in your head that ticks.
Normally,
I have to fix it, and I need to do whatever I need to do. If I have to stay an hour after practice and I have to just catch balls on the jug machine, I have to do it.
And that's where I wonder that's where I wonder, you get to the mental side of the game. And MVS had drops like this in Green Bay too. So, but still, you got to wonder. We talked about this after the Week 1 game, like not letting Tony's drops impact him mentally the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. He just hadn't played very much for a variety of reasons. But I think we can all acknowledge. I mean, they're well aware of the criticism. They can block out all the noise they want. They're well aware everybody's saying they suck. Okay? You would think that motivates you, but there are some players, everybody's built differently, some players where it can break them down too. And that's where the coaching staff, once again, has to come into play here. And so I get publicly, Andy Reid's never going to call out a wide receiver. I get that. But internally, there has to be a balance of supporting, yes, players, coach, but also at some point, you're not going to keep getting opportunities if you're failing. We're going to give other guys opportunities. It's week 12 of the season.
Yeah. They got MVS below 50% of the snaps for the first time all season. That's about as close as we got. And he got one PI called against him, or for him, right, that helped the team, and then he dropped the game-winning touchdown.
All right, coming up next, it's What's Trending here on a Tuesday edition of Cody and Gold. Then we get right back into the worst second-half offense in the NFL.
Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio.
Ever since I started listening to Cody and Gold, my sex life has never been better.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Get ready, Kansas City. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Kansas City. Trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
Great news! Centric has launched a new accelerated cybersecurity training program that prepares you for a new IT career goal in just 7 months.
And it's perfect, Cody, for those who want a career change. But look, you need that flexibility in your schedule, or maybe you just prefer a hybrid learning style.
Cybersecurity is one of those most in-demand technology jobs today. And again, you'll get that same hands-on training you're used to with Centric and certified instructors, but you'll get that in that hybrid model.
And new programs are always starting at Centric. Just go to centric.com/610.
It's tailgate season, and Smokehouse Barbecue has you covered. Whether you plan on going to a game or having the party at your house, Smokehouse Barbecue will be there with you. Plus, you can take advantage of their game day special. A slab of baby back ribs, a pound of burnt ends, a pound of wings, a quart of beans, paperware, and servings for $6, all for just $79.95. They also have private banquet rooms at all 3 KC locations. Check them out at smokehousebbq.com. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
It's touchdown Kansas City when you sell your home to RexBuysKC.com. I am Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs, and no company pays more than Rex, with instant cash offers and your money in as little as 7 days.
That's right, Mitch. I'm Rex, owner of RexBuysKC.com, your locally owned home buyer. We'll buy any house regardless of condition. Distressed or damaged homes, it doesn't matter. Call us now at 816-330-6000 for the best offer and instant cash.
Score a touchdown, Kansas City with Rex, and get a fair, honest deal. Facing divorce, bankruptcy, thousands in repair bills, needing to move fast, being foreclosed, or just wanting cash fast? Then contact Rex now to get your money in as little as 7 days.
We help homeowners solve their problems with options on how they can sell their home. We have no fees, no closing costs, no commissions, no open houses. We buy your house as is.
Sell your home today, worry and hassle-free, no matter what the condition, and get your money in as little as 7 days.
Call us right now at 816-330-6000 or go online to rexbuyskc.com and let us buy your home today.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long only at Lowe's. Shop the lowest prices of the year on select major appliances and save an extra $100 for every $800 you spend on select major appliances. Plus, get your home ready for the season with Holiday Living 100-count LED string lights. Was $8.98, now $4.98. Because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 11/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Hey. You already know that there's nothing like a custom design and crafted jewelry treasure from House of Diamonds. A one-of-a-kind creation built from scratch for a one-of-a-kind love. But sometimes you have a need for speed. This is Gene at House of Diamonds. And just in case custom jewelry isn't in the cards, we have a case. Actually, we have 19 cases filled with some of the most beautiful handcrafted jewelry you'll ever see. Earrings, rings, bracelets, pearls, pendants, and fine gemstones. A lot of it we created in our shop. All of it carries our name with the quality and craftsmanship you've come to expect from House of Diamonds. And any item can be tweaked and customized just for you. Think of it as Custom Express. Custom Express or custom from scratch. Get it at locally owned, family owned House of Diamonds. House of Diamonds on the southeast corner of College and Quivira.
With a smile at Andy's top your day. With a smile at Andy's top your day.
I love s'mores, so I made our new Andy's Frozen Custard S'mores Jackhammer just for fall.
This holiday season, give a gift beyond compare. Topsy's popcorn is great for game time snacking, holiday parties, or is a perfect anytime treat. Visit Topsy'sPopcorn.com or one of our stores today. Topsy's Popcorn. It's the good stuff.
This year, FanDuel's got something you'll really be thankful for because right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. With so many games going on, Thanksgiving is the perfect time to join. You know we got the Lions. You know we got the Cowboys. We got a great game at night between San Francisco and Seattle, so you know you're going to want to be a part of the action. So visit FanDuel/CDOT, use my promo code, and fill up your plate with some same-game parlays and some player props. This is an incredible time with sports with the NFL, college football. We got basketball going on. So get a part of the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. FanDuel, an official partner of the NFL, and also 610 Sports Radio. 21 in President, Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus pick that expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports rating. Kansas under agreement. Kansas Star Casino LLC. Gambling problem. Can you help with your best bet? Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
It's here. Black Friday week is live at Target. Save up to 50% on select tech and video games. Plus, save up to 40% on select small appliances, up to 45% on floor care, and so much more. And get free shipping when you spend $35 or use your red card at Target.com. Hurry! These Black Friday deals end Saturday. Get low prices and great Black Friday deals. Only at Target. Exclusions apply.
Love like this before. Sit back and relax as you listen to the sounds of your carpet. Okay, your carpet doesn't actually make any sounds. At least not until you drop something on it, like a dreaded wine spill. But don't worry, if your carpet is life-proof with pet-proof technology, it can stand up to life's toughest stains. It also stands up to pets. It can even stand up to a third grader's birthday party. Life-proof with pet-proof technology, available only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Patrick Mahomes joins CDOT Mondays at 3:10. 610 Sports Radio. KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Well, number one on what's trending, of course, the Chiefs lose their third game of the year last night to the Eagles. It was actually the first home regular season game the Chiefs had lost past the month of October since the 2020-21 season. That was the finale in January. Yeah, Mahomes didn't even play in that game. So November, December, January, normally automatic for Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes. Not the case last night. We know the drop's the story, and they got a short week. This is Patrick Mahomes talking about getting after it again because the Raiders are their opponent on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I know how hard the guys work at the end of the day. And you see it. I mean, the first half, you could see the guys moving down the field. You could see we've had spurts where we've played good football offensively. But all you can do is go to work and try to get better and better. Obviously, I'm disappointed we lost today. I like a lot of the guys in the everybody in the locker room. And so guys will come back to work and knowing we're going to play a tough Raiders team this next week on a short week, and we have to find a way to win against a division opponent.
In Las Vegas, Chiefs 9.5-point favorites on Sunday afternoon.
A lot of these streaks over the last year are coming to a halt because they have to eventually. They were 18-0 the last 2 years when scoring first. They were undefeated when scoring first over the last 2 seasons. 18-0. They're now 18-1, of course, because they blew a 10-point fourth quarter lead. I will say this. If I'm trading off blown fourth quarter 10-point leads, I like the Chiefs one that they got better because it was in the Super Bowl for the win. So I'll accept that at least for now, if I'm just looking for some silver lining. Next up on What's Trending, well, this hasn't happened in KC yet, but the Steelers had no choice. They this morning fired offensive coordinator Matt Canada. I know Mike Tomlin has done a lot to defend the guy, and there's been a lot internally of their trying to make this work in some way. They're one of the worst offenses in the NFL. Kenny Pickett has regressed, and they're just lost. This is one of those, hey, some head's going to roll eventually when we are a capable enough team to win some games, but there is one major thing holding us back, and it's the offense with our young quarterback. So Matt Canada out. We'll see what Mike Tomlin goes next on that decision making.
Should have been done a while ago, but as you were saying, like they don't normally make changes in season. They just don't do that. 81
takes
years.
some kind of special circumstances.
81 years. The last time they made an in-season coaching change in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's crazy.
Next up on What's Trending College Basketball, the Maui Invitational continuing. KU got the win last night against Chaminade today. They will take on Marquette. The field there in Maui is loaded. So it's number 1 KU taking on number 4 Marquette. Not till 9:30 tonight. Ugh.
Pass.
Yeah, it's in Hawaii, obviously.
Sorry,
time
games.
Difference.
Sorry. 9:30 is too late. I'm not watching Kansas Marquette.
I'll watch the beginning. I don't know if
Kansas
I'll make it through the whole
Marquette
game.
in November.
Although, yeah, I don't know if I'll make it through the whole game or not, but I'll watch the beginning.
Sorry, college basketball. Next up on What's Trending, Broncos, Kareem Jackson suspended 4 games. No, you did not time travel, and I am not giving you this What's Trending update from 3 weeks ago. That was a different time Kareem Jackson was suspended for 4 games. He appealed, and it was reduced to 2. This hit was even worse than the last one that he got suspended for. He Ralph Wiggums his way through the offensive line. His hands are at his side. They're not even up like he's trying to tackle the guy. He just launched his face at people's face. By the way, his way of apologizing was taking to Twitter today and just posting a clip of Tom Brady calling the league soft, essentially, from his podcast, where he's like, hey, Ronnie Lott and those guys used to hit guys in a way that every single one of those hits would be penalized. Not the point, Kareem Jackson. All of those guys have CTE. They're trying to prevent you from major medical problems. Stop throwing your head at people.
This is who he is, man.
Stop throwing your head at
people. I mean, this is the type of player that he's been. I'm glad the NFL. I mean, when it happened live, you were surprised it wasn't a penalty, and then you're like, well, the league's going to take a look, and props to the league for suspending him for 4 games,
and then going right back to the well.
And he's like game. He's another one away from being out for the whole season.
Yeah,
like he's approaching. It's like it doesn't seem like Vontaze Burfict, but he's trending in that direction to where they're going to nail him for a season.
And they're just going to be like, we'll talk to you in a few years if you want to figure out how to use your arms to tackle and not just your head.
That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. Reminder coming up at 1 o'clock. Nate Taylor, our Chiefs insider from The Athletic, going to join us. He was in the locker room last night. He was at Arrowhead last night. We'll get his perspective on the offensive struggles, something we're going to talk about right now. We know the wide receivers. We spent a great deal of time talking about them already throughout the show today. They lead the league in drops, 27 of them. The most notable one, of course, was the Marquez Valdez-Scantling drop, which would have been a touchdown, and the Chiefs would have had a lead with 1:45 to go with the way the Chiefs defense was playing. Very much having a different discussion about where this football team is at while still acknowledging the struggles, because it's all second half. Like that's
like
a
huge part of their offensive problems. 3 straight second halves they've been shut out?
It is all the second half because
2 games they lost.
They're one of the best first half offenses, believe it or not. But the second half, they're averaging 5.3 points per game. That is worse than the 2-9 Cardinals, who are averaging 6. That's worse than their opponent on Sunday, the Raiders, who are 5-6 and who are averaging 6.8 points per game. The second half offense, the last 3 games, as you were laying out, Cody, right now, looking at 15 drives on their last 3 games in the second half. No points and 4 turnovers. So as much as it's drops, it's the turnovers. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes was in the first half, but red zone turnovers is just as much the problem. And we'll talk about
that's a huge problem.
We'll talk in 20 minutes that might be the one thing that actually you believe can be corrected to better the rest of the season. But to not have any points in the last 3 games in the second half, and in general, this goes back to week 3. 13 points in the fourth quarter since week 3.
Yeah.
Not even 2 touchdowns. Not even 2 full touchdowns with extra points the last, 11 weeks of the season? Or, excuse me, last 9 weeks of the season?
I've got to assume at this point that part of the problem here is a confidence-related issue, because they have never, under Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, gone through this. They went through this. They went through a stretch where they scored this low amount in Andy Reid's career. They did it with Alex Smith when the Jets-Giants, everybody remembers this. I don't remember. I remember it more probably because I was at that Giants game, which was the second of the 2 that they played back-to-back at the MetLife, where they just couldn't score. I mean, they were bad. They couldn't score, and under really any conceivable notion, they were really bad offensively. So they got through it with Andy, but not with Patrick, because that has been the thing that they rode to multiple Super Bowl titles, and I think the frustration is showing. I think that's part of the reason you saw the frustration boiling over with Travis Kelce last night and him and Andy Reid. Andy Reid seemed so frustrated with Travis last night, and Patrick Mahomes can't seemingly stop the red zone turnovers himself. Not just the ones that Travis Kelce's guilty of, but the ones he's making mistakes on when he throws that ball right to Byard.
Never saw him.
No.
Never saw him.
No. And so the turnovers, the red zone turnovers, at the very least, at least that's solvable, which we can talk about. But, God, that's what's so frustrating about it. They're not a good wide receiver unit. We know that. But they could drop the ball a little less. Stop turning it over in the red zone a little less, and just find a way to come at a break of that halftime and have another scripted 15 or whatever the hell it's going to take in order to make sure the offense has some success.
Because all 3 of us were talking before the show. we'll take your text to 913-586-7610, trying to figure out, what is the difference in the first and the second half? We know the first 15 plays are scripted to start a game, and the last 2 games, some of their best drives of the season have been on these scripted plays.
Yep.
And then in the second half, and you would like to say, and you would think to say, I should say, that that's all coaching, right? Hey, one team's making adjustments, you're not. Tell me if you think I'm wrong on this. I think absolutely first half, it's scripted. They game plan it up. They put these bad wide receivers in good spots to make plays. They make it look easy. So
the other team doesn't know exactly where you're going to put them. They don't know you're going to hand the ball off to Tony.
So they have success.
Yeah.
Second half, adjustments are made. And then at some point in the second half, the guys making millions of dollars a year have to go out and make plays. And these guys aren't capable of making plays when they have to improvise or they have to go out and get it done, and they can't basically have it all scripted up for them from the coaching staff.
I think in the first half, it's probably game to game, Gold. I don't know that there's one solid answer to this, because in the second half yesterday, it's not that some of them weren't getting open. It's that in the first half, they didn't really drop those balls. They caught him. They were making every play. Defense got him the ball back. Offense drove down the field. Got the field goal before half, which felt so huge as a swing. They gave the ball to the Eagles. The Eagles had the they're going to get the ball at half. Maybe they're going to do something with it. No, instead the Chiefs get the ball back on a 3-and-out. Go back, score a field goal. Everybody's catching the ball. Ball's moving, feeling good. And then in the second half, they had multiple chances to sustain drives. And they got killed by either. So half of them got killed by penalty, right? Like Creed Humphrey's butt going down too fast or whatever dumbass explanation they gave. Or it was drops, just straight up drops. On that, we mentioned on that 3rd and 9, Justin Watson had the ball and he dropped it, or MVS's drop touchdown, or Travis Kelce's fumble, or any of those mistakes. They moved the ball that entire game. So part of me thinks that the second half issues, maybe they started to work through those in that game against Philly. And I know that sounds stupid because they scored 0. I swear they moved the ball okay in the second half. Perfect? No, they're not a very good offense. They're only average. Okay? Yes. It was just those mistakes. It's those things that have seemingly killed them. And so much of that is just they've never been a clean team for that perspective. And now they're terribly penalized. That might be as much at fault as the drops right now. The back-breaking drive penalties.
Well, once again, the offensive tackles last night had a rough go. And I understand they're going up against the Eagles, but there's some penalties. PFF grades are PFF grades. I get it. Some people roll their eyes at it. For offensive linemen, we actually we do on this show, lean into them more because
I trust them more typically because it's harder to judge.
3 worst offensive graded players last night. You can guess one of them, MVS.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, what?
The other one was Donovan Smith.
Okay.
And the third was Jawan Taylor.
Okay.
You have 2 tackles. At least with Donovan Smith, you're not locked up long term with Donovan Smith. It's a one-year thing. They're going to have to go address left tackle in the offseason. We knew that before the season started. Or we would have thought.
Is that before or behind wide receiver?
Or they would move behind. Move Jawan Taylor to left tackle. Well, Jawan Taylor is the bigger problem from that perspective, which is you've invested heavily. Was last night just that? I mean, Donovan Smith's been rough all year, grade-wise. Jawan Taylor, actually, I thought had been playing a lot better heading into last night.
Okay, yeah.
And then last night was a rough one for him.
They did not have a good night, but they're fine. They're fine tackles. Okay, and I get it. They got $80 million tied up in one tackle because they didn't want to have 2 non-tackles they didn't know, and they couldn't get the deal done.
I mean, the grades would say Donovan Smith's a bottom 4 tackle again, though.
Yeah, they would. What would they say about Orlando Brown? 2 players that get paid similar amounts of money?
Well, at least Donovan Smith, you're not paying as much as you're paying Orlando Brown.
We talked about this. I mean, but Mahomes hides some of that. So, honestly, some of this is you don't need as good a tackle play as others. You know why? Because you have the best interior offensive line in the NFL. Like you said, no perfect rosters. No perfect rosters means Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, and Trey Smith is the best interior offensive line group in the NFL. Cool. So we're fine with the tackles being kind of mediocre. I'm not saying that's not part of it. It certainly is. But I'll be honest, there's plenty of times where I feel like Mahomes got more than enough time. Very rarely do I think Mahomes has no time to throw the ball. More often than not, he has enough time to throw the ball, and is there anyone to throw to? Because I'm just sitting around waiting around. One penalty I would like to excuse for Donovan Smith is there any reason ESPN wouldn't give me the replay on what I thought Montez Sweat was so clearly offsides? And then they called Donovan Smith for the hold. And I think he held because Sweat was offsides, and they never gave me the replay. Well, so frustrating.
Or Josh Sweat, yeah.
Or Josh Sweat, sorry.
Yeah, that was surprising. I thought he was offsides a couple times last night. Look, we can We can play that game with
No, I'm not playing. We haven't even mentioned the refs today. That Creed penalty was awful.
Yeah.
I thought the L'Jarius Sneed call was soft. I definitely think they missed an offsides. But I also think that MVS pass interference was a little soft, too. So I'll just take the wins with the losses. I don't think it was a well-officiated game, but I don't think it was like officiated against Kansas City, right?
Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll get to the one thing that I think is actually correctable. Might be the only thing with the wide receiver room. That's coming up in 15 minutes or so. On a much lighter note, on a day where everybody's frustrated, I get that. Did you have a chance, either of you, to watch the Werewolf Chiefsaholic doc? We had Elizabeth Merrill, who was a reporter in the documentary on the show yesterday. It came out on ESPN+. It's a 40-minute long-form doc on Chiefsaholic. What did you guys think? Because it's the first one that's out, and I think that was probably important to ESPN to have it out for Monday Night Football.
First. They realized how many people were calling them, getting ready.
Like yesterday, ESPN treated like the last night's game like it was a damn Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and so they probably wanted to have something in longer form packaged. I think my takeaway was, guys, if you didn't know anything about the Chiefsaholic story, you hadn't followed it along the way,
this would probably be new
information. You're like, oh,
yeah.
wow, there's a lot of new stuff. If you were fascinated by it the way we were, and most of you were, I think, there really wasn't anything new. Now, I watched because I'm just like, I can't believe there's a freaking documentary about a Chiefs super fan that went to, is in prison or potentially going to go for a long, go away for a long time for alleged crimes. But there's nothing new in it.
So I forgot to watch it during the day. I had some other stuff going on. But then I was like, oh my God, we're going to talk about this. So I watched it after the Chiefs-Eagles game. I went upstairs. Game was over, and I'm like, all right.
Wait, you watched it after the game?
Time to dive into some. Well, what was that? Was that at 6 o'clock in the morning?
No, I didn't. Okay, all right.
Well, I'd forgotten. We were going to talk about it, and I figured next Tuesday nobody would care or whatever. So I thought, all right, I got to get in on this. So I watched it after the game. Massively disappointed.
Yeah.
The cinematography's kind of nice, but they only interview like 3 people who knew him. One is a super fan who mostly just talks about what it's kind of like to be a super fan.
Right.
Didn't feel like I got a lot of insight there. One was a girl he went on a date with like twice.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't seem like there was much information there. And then the last one was a guy who kind of knew him through the Chiefs circle, maybe went through a couple things with him through gambling, and gave him the background at least to be like, oh my God, did you bet $80,000 on the Chiefs to win this Buffalo's-Bills game? What I want in the next Chiefsaholic documentary is either, if we're going campiness, then we got to go like full, like make some stuff up. This was like full doc, as in they were only reporting facts and they didn't have a lot of facts to report about. I wanted to know how he got to California, how he'd gotten away, what he was doing while he was on the run.
They don't know yet.
I wanted to know.
We got to wait till the case is over. We got to wait for the trial to be over.
One of the most interesting things about it might have been that he has the most serial killer handwriting ever. Oh, did you see that stuff? Dude! Of course he's crazy. Look at the way he writes.
Liz did mention that as one thing that was that stood out a little bit. Yeah.
It definitely stood out. And then he's apparently listening to the games when he can.
Yeah.
On a beat-up AM radio.
Yeah, how about that? He said he listens to the broadcast on a 90s-style radio. So that means that he listens to 106.5 The Wolf. The Wolf listens to 106.5 The Wolf while in prison. How about that? So he listened to
Maybe you can do a liner for us.
Oh, gosh.
No?
Maybe so. Yeah, I think what we want in the doc, that's going to be a couple years away. Because the doc that we want on Chiefsaholic needs more info, and nobody's going to talk until the trial's over. And the trials
dramatization.
Or the trials in April. And the trials in April, right? I think. So we got to wait. It's going to be a little while. I'm sure Netflix and others will have stuff out at that point. Or just go full comedy. I told you this. They need to have some actors and make up a show that doesn't have to be a wolf, but basically a story of a super fan of any. It can be about
who's just living a regular life according to everyone else, but also
but is also robbing banks. But based off of the Chiefsaholic story, it doesn't need to be a wolf or anything. It can just be a crazy super fan that's a fan of a random made up soccer team or football team, whatever, and it's a comedy about this guy that's like fumbling around robbing banks or whatever.
I just didn't feel like there was any. It felt rushed. That's what it was. Remember when there were like 2 different Firefest documentaries out at the same time, and one was clearly more detailed and better than the other? This is what it feels like. ESPN got theirs out first because they realized what the interest was, and that's fine. But it didn't come with anything new for me in 40. Yeah. I don't think I learned a single new thing in 40 minutes other than like, he was writing. I mean, he's still writing stuff and be like, but they'll never let the wolf out of the cage. That stuff pretty good. I did like that. I'll admit that. That was still pretty strong. His lawyer reading some of the inane scribblings at the bottom of the paper at the end. Pretty good. I wanted more lawyer. That guy seems like a character. I'd like some more of the lawyer in this documentary. I didn't get enough of that.
This wasn't from the doc, but the lawyer's the part that I'm looking forward to the most throughout this entire thing.
This is not Chiefsaholic's last drive. And he believes, and we believe, that when the final whistle blows and all of the facts are known, that he is going to be redeemed in the eyes of his community, in the eyes of his fans, and in the eyes of the Chiefs' kingdom.
And then, remember, in one of the answers, he said he'll always be part of Chiefs' kingdom.
He did say that he would, he'd like people to support him even in the down times. We're a family.
That's right. He did say, he did say we're all a family.
And he would like that even though his part's not going great, he'd still like to be a part of this family. You know how Vinny, but he's out. Vinny asked earlier to be a part of Chiefs Kingdom. He said he wants to be a Chiefs fan. He said he's a Chiefs fan now. Vinny wants to be a part of this group. I say, let's just vote. We can vote for all of Chiefs Kingdom. 3 hands. Mm-hmm. Do we vote to accept Vinny as a member of the Chiefs Kingdom and officially kick out Chiefsaholic? All hands raise.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Chiefsaholic is out. Vinny is in.
The only other part from the documentary that I think we kind of knew the details, but the fact that he had somebody, or he got mailed the check from winning the Mahomes, the Mahomes MVP and the Super Bowl bet last year,
and then was gone.
And he got a $100,000 check mailed him, and then the next day he cuts off the ankle monitor, and so he had $100,000 in his pocket presumably, and on the way to California he allegedly robbed banks in Nevada as well while having $100,000. He was addicted to gambling and robbing allegedly.
I mean, God, the $100,000.
The rush that he got from that.
Just lay low for a bit, not rob another bank at that exact moment.
We've talked about this before. Like, people that rob banks don't just rob one bank and they're done and they never do it again. No, they think I got away with $100,000. I'm going to go steal another $100,000. That's how we got caught in Tulsa.
Rob it once.
And
just rob one bank and then retire.
There was part of me that just in terms of his upbringing outside of the whole thing, I felt kind of bad for him.
That's what the lawyer wants for sure.
All of that stuff that had come up, but
so he's still very close with his family.
I didn't realize, and I don't know if this is because she liked Chiefsaholic, went out on those dates, but for her to say that he's like the poster child of Chiefs fandom, do you guys consider him to be like the guy? I mean, the text line sure doesn't.
No.
I just think that was an interesting comment. Like, of all the Chiefs fans, like he's the poster child. Like, do you need a poster child?
No, but I only know so many Chiefs super fans. And
Who would you rather be the poster child? Would you rather have the alleged bank robber, Chiefsaholic, or would you rather have X Factor?
It says that I'm a meth addict, which I'm a cocaine addict.
Which one?
I don't have like the Superman guy.
No, you only can pick between those two.
That's a terrible choice. At least one's not in jail currently. So
That's correct. I'll take the bank robber.
Vibes are better. Can we just take Paul Rudd or something? Can we not just if we're just saying biggest Chiefs super fan, can I just take Eric Stone Street or something?
I honestly think that.
Can I just not take that instead?
I think you should start going to Chiefs games dressed up as the Wolf.
Take over his
You should take over the Chiefsaholic. You become Chiefsaholic.
Or Henry Winkler. Can I have any of the celebrity-based
That's the
fans?
show bet, Drew. You can actually... Well, here's the deal. We'll get you tickets to watch your Jake Browning-led Cincinnati Bengals.
You have to go as the Wolf?
But you got to go as the Wolf.
I'm going to get tackled by security at some point.
Nah, he's in jail. They know. The Wolf.
Yeah.
You're just a different
It's not like
Wolf.
you're going to the... It's not like you're going to the NFL draft dressed up when we didn't know where he was. Everybody thought he was coming back for the draft.
Am I allowed to cheer when Jake? Am I allowed to cheer when Jake Browning throws a touchdown pass?
Well, that won't happen. So sure.
Okay.
Sure.
If there's an interception
against this defense, not happening.
All right.
Someone says Taylor Swift is now the biggest Chiefs fan.
I was going to say, I think Taylor Swift or Donna Kelsey, you could say, is a bigger poster child of the Chiefs fandom than Paul Rudd.
Someone says Bankley's the face of Chiefs Kingdom.
Fine. Also better. I'm good with that.
That works.
That's fine.
But yes, disappointed in the Chiefsaholic doc. Yeah.
I gotta wait for the next. By the way, will this prevent me from watching the next Chiefsaholic docs? Obviously not. I'm gonna watch any content released related to it. I was just a little disappointed.
Even if it's 3 years from now, I'll still be interested in at least the documentary.
Yes. Might have more details by then.
All right, coming up next, we'll get to the random question of the day and the one thing that is actually correctable with this Chiefs offense.
Cody and Gold
The facts on this show are irrelevant.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Hey, this is Travis Kelce, NFL tight end and proud member of the Lowe's Home Team. Lowe's knows when you've got the best price, you've already won. That's why we offer the lowest price guarantee. If you find a better price online or in store, we'll match it. Now you can score on the top brands from the Lowe's Home Team picks, like Scotts, LG, and DeWalt. So take on your projects with confidence. Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retail partner of the NFL.
Price match applies to same item, current price of qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
LMC Truck is proud to support the Kingdom this season as they present the national anthem before every game. LMC Truck is focused on keeping generations on the road because trucks tie the past to the future. It's time to start your truck journey at lmctruck.com.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a game-changing checking account with cash back. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
We're talking with Dr. David Bach, board-certified urologist at Kansas City Urology Care. Doctor, when it comes to prostate cancer, what makes KCUC the best?
KCUC treats more prostate cancer than anyone else in the metro, and for that matter, in this part of the country.
What does that mean for the patient?
As part of cancer care, the patient will need a urologist, a pathologist, a medical oncologist, and a radiation oncologist. We offer specialists, board-certified specialists, in all those areas on site. It's important to a patient because they want the best possible care with the best possible outcomes with the fewest chances of side effects. Without a doubt, Kansas City Urology Care is the expert in prostate cancer therapy.
See the prostate cancer experts. Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit appointments.kcurology.com.
Hey, it's Alex Gold. Join me at Buffalo Wild Wings in Overland Park at 138th and Metcalf on Wednesday, November 22nd from 4 to 6 p.m. Enjoy $10 54-ounce Bud Light pitchers and the chance for a cool Chiefs prize. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 or older. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Inside the Huddle with Cody and Gold, each day from noon until 1 on 610 Sports Radio. Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC on the official radio partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. 610 Sports Radio.
Your favorite team is always trying to get the best lineup on the field, and now Sonic is giving your cheeseburger the most burgier lineup ever. Dana Hughes here, and get ready for Sonic's bold and tangy hickory barbecue and indulgent garlic butter bacon cheeseburgers, taking your game to a whole new level, starting at just $3.99. Whether at the tailgate or after a weekly practice, you'll love Sonic's hickory burger and garlic butter bacon cheeseburgers. But don't wait, the burger lineup is only available at Sonic for a limited time.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
This year, Staples will not be celebrating the holidays. Instead, we're celebrating the holiday deals with amazing savings for the holiday season. Save 60% on custom holiday cards, save 60% on custom invitations, and save 60% on custom photo gifts like mugs and calendars. During Staples holiday deals, it's not about the ho ho ho, it's about saving do. Save 60% on custom cards, invitations, and photo gifts today at Staples. Ends 12/2. Visit staples.com/print for more details.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car right in your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back. RENNER.
Renner Garage Door, servicing and installing garage doors in KC for over 60 years. Family owned and top rated. Residential, commercial, service, and repairs. RENNER. Forward and back. Renner, the company that does garage doors. RennerDoor.com.
Back here, Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. Coming up in a half hour, Nate Taylor from The Athletic going to join us. We'll get his perspective from the locker room last night. He was there talking to Travis Kelce after, obviously, extremely frustrating loss and mistakes, and definitely one of the worst Kelce games we've seen in a bit, considering the mistake, and clearly frustrated throughout. So we'll talk to Nate about that coming up in just a little while. I think on offense, though, if you're looking at what's correctable, what can be fixed. I mean, it's week 12 of the season, so the wide receivers are the wide receivers. We can talk about whittling down the rotation and giving guys more playing time, but they aren't suddenly going to not drop passes. This is who they are. Maybe not at the rate that they're at, but this is who they are. So MVS has been. What's correctable, though? The red zone turnover from Travis Kelce, I do think those are type of plays that are correctable. We played you the cut from Danian Hughes earlier today, talking about guys need to be more disciplined, locked in more. The focus maybe isn't there. That's one way you can help. One thing that's correctable is the turnovers. They're -5 right now on turnovers. And it's not like the defense isn't turning over opponents. They are. It's all on the offense here. I do believe that's actually more correctable than maybe anything else with
They're
the
top
offense.
5 in the NFL in giveaways.
I think that's the most correctable thing with the offense. It's not that suddenly Justin Watson getting 11 targets a game is going to turn into a number 1 wide receiver and not have drops. It's not that suddenly MVS is going to catch every deep pass thrown his way. That's who he is. But what's correctable? I do think Travis Kelce fumbling the football, Patrick Mahomes throwing a bad red zone pick. I have more faith in both of those, my star players, if I'm the Chiefs, fixing their problems. Because those are the guys that ultimately are going to have to get it done.
It's probably, in truth, the most correctable thing there is. I was trying to look it up. I was like, I wonder where, like, because that one seemed bad from Mahomes yesterday. I'm like, all right, how many red zone mistakes is he making? He's thrown 2 red zone picks. Now, in the course of a season, that's one every 4 games or one every couple of games. That's not great. That is tied for the most in the NFL, right? Because most people don't throw more than that. So that's correctable. But it's all the other guys who are seemingly losing the ball down there too. And even if we expand it outside the red zone a little bit more and we say and it's not the league, I guess there's a couple guys with 3, like Love, a couple of the other bad quarterbacks. But when you start thinking about where they are and what things can they fix, to me, those, and honest to God, the drops. There's no reason you have to drop the ball at 30% higher rate than the next worst team in the NFL. Their wide receivers aren't that bad at catching the football. They're not.
You sure? Are we honestly though, Cody?
Well, currently they are.
Are we sure?
Yes. Because again, this was the identical unit from last year. Identical. Except for Juju Smith-Schuster. That's it. And Rashee Rice has a few of them, so okay.
Yeah, but they're asking a lot more from Justin Watson this year.
I understand.
A lot more.
Well,
MVS
the wide receivers are the same. I understand that he's being asked to do more.
Like, MVS has been this guy. Like, the deep drops. Again, I saw plenty of people that were mentioning in Green Bay, he had probably 7 of those type of drops with Aaron Rodgers.
I'm sure someone could do a supercut of MVS big drops because it is well known and was well known of him at the time. I also think it's funny because now because you can take a bird's eye view of it. It's really easy with looking at it now. This is exactly who MVS is from a receiving standpoint too. Be like, well, man, he had 690 yards last year.
He's worse than he was last year.
I know, but that's how he is in his entire career. His entire career, every other year is a good year. 1 year he has 420 yards. The next year he's got 680. Next year 450. Next year 675. Year after that 415 again. That's his entire. I'm not even kidding. Look it up. It is 6 consecutive years. I'm giving you like vague numbers. That is almost exactly how his career has been. So they must have always.
But his snaps are still just as high. Like, that's the thing, though. His
That's
snaps
how it was
are
in
as
Green
high.
Bay.
His snaps, I mean, like Alan Lazard was getting some of those, obviously, back in his Green Bay days a little bit. And I guess Randall Cobb for the early portion of his career as well. But that's the thing. Like, I don't know if the drops are. Yeah, Devontae Adams, sorry. Yeah. I don't think the drops are as correctable as not turning the ball over.
Yeah, I wanted to look it up. 452, 690, 430, 687. No, he's on pace for like same thing, like 430.
Yeah,
right?
He's making $11 million this year.
Oh, he's making way too much.
And before the drop last night, I think everybody already knew it was trending. Very unlikely that he would be back next year anyway, based off of just the financial element of it. I mean, right now, I don't know, other than Rashee Rice, there's anybody wants back in the wide receiver room next year.
No, but I mean, someone's got to come back. If you
could
eliminate, this is a fun exercise for the wide receivers. Let's open it up to the text line. 913-586-7610. If you personally got to eliminate one wide receiver from getting any snaps the rest of the year, who are you choosing? You get to right now. Come on, Chiefs fans. You get to choose one wide receiver, and they get 0 snaps the rest of the season, and they get spread out to everyone else. Who you got?
Probably MVS.
Oh, my God. He leads the team in snaps. That's not good.
The Chiefs believe he holds value in other areas, right?
Yeah, Matt Nagy was just
the Chiefs believe that, he's a good blocking wide receiver, right? And there's elements to that. The touchdown, they didn't call it a pick play, but basically it was a pick play. The touchdown to Kelsey, right? MVS basically
it's a great job.
Got in the way of 2 players to make that happen. So that's probably why I'm sure the Chiefs, if you were to ever get an honest answer, they'd be like, well, MVS is definitely not the one because we believe he helps us in so many other areas.
It is hard, though, like as a fan, to be like, he's the guy.
The reason why it's not Sky Moore's, even though we said, all right, he's obviously in the bust territory, because of his age, I probably would still not say he's the one I would cut because I got 2 more years of rookie control. MVS, I'm probably cutting at the end of the season anyway, so that would be my answer in this hypothetical. Text line is all Sky Moore.
It is Sky Moore by
a lot of people mentioning Richie James to give him snaps. Well, you know my feeling on that. Might as well see what Richie James can do. You got nothing to lose. He had 600 yards with Daniel Jones last year. Why not see if Richie James can help you out a little bit?
I think someone's like, it's Justin Watson. I'm like, that's the only wide receiver.
No,
Patrick
Justin
trusts.
Watson actually you shouldn't be getting 11 targets, but no, Justin Watson actually is unfortunately one of their best options.
Like, I think you can make an argument for Tony because you're like, yeah, you don't need those 25 snaps. I got other places to go. But I think the right answer is either MVS or Sky. I understand you're saying, hey, Sky's probably on this team next year, but I definitely think that is next year, probably. Dude, if you if you do a Dom bet at your own risk, because I do not think it's 100% likely.
It's not 100%, but as you said, they're going to have 6 receivers on it. Like, there's going to be 6 receivers on the team.
Justin Watson's under contract, so let's start there. Justin Watson for 1, Rashee Rice for 2.
There's 2. So they're not bringing 4.
Tony's got a year left. That's 3. I'll say that
he does have 1 year.
He has some other value. That's 3. Drafted wide receiver is 4. Free agent wide receiver is 5. And some dude who isn't the rest of these other guys is 6.
I think he'll still be on the team next year, but I understand what you're saying.
If you made me bet it and it was even money, I would bet with you, Gold. But I am not super optimistic. He is definitely one of those, when the articles come out in June and they're like, surprise camp cuts for all 32 teams, and you got to click through to get to the Chiefs, because hypothetically they've won the Super Bowl and they're doing it by draft order, just know that guy on that list, every single one of those national lists is gonna be Sky Moore. It just is, because if that's the case, I can't believe the text line is all Sky. They're just like,
I'm not surprised.
I guess I thought there'd be more for MVS. He dropped the game-winning touchdown.
People have been out on Sky for a while, though.
Yeah. Although the people
I barely knew he even played. I didn't know Sky Moore played last night. I didn't know he was even suited up. I had no clue.
Until he caught that ball for 5 yards?
Didn't even know that happened.
Didn't he catch one? Someone help me here. He caught one for like 5 yards, right? Out to just like
4
the flat?
yards. 4, yep.
4 yards, okay. Out in the flat.
I mean, I honestly don't know he even played last night.
Take Sky
they have a
out.
combined 39 catches and 788 snaps. Would you even notice? Sky Moore and MVS have 39 total catches in 10 games. So they averaging 3.9 catches per game in 788 combined snaps. Remember that joke we made like week 3? It's never been. They're just getting cardio. Out for a jog. Going for a stroll, Gold, because they're not trying to catch the ball. It's like MVS does stuff that helps other guys get open. Well, that's what he's doing. He's just going for a run.
Yeah, this morning, Shannon Sharp on Undisputed or whatever show he's on these days, not Undisputed.
First Take.
He called them wide. He called them wide retrievers because they just go grab the football after they drop it and retrieve it. He called them wide retrievers.
That's pretty good. That might be better than my cardio joke.
At least MVS is getting open. I mean, like he was
open on that final play.
Matt Nagy was just talking about the work that the guys get in during practice, and some of it being physical, some of it being mental. Sky, the physical, he can't even get open. It's not even like the mental thing. He can't even have the opportunity to drop a ball. MVS is getting open physically. It's just, he's there. You just have to catch it. I would keep MVS. I'd get rid of Sky. Sky has more outside snaps than inside. Put Rashee Rice there.
Yeah. I know we're having
the
hypothetical conversation because look, this is the group they got. This is the group they got the rest of the season.
And you can't just eliminate snaps for one. I was just asking.
Yeah, no, I got you. This is the group they got. The only guy that's not playing that they could potentially add in the mix is to see if there's anything is Richie James. Everybody else we've seen play. Everybody else we kind of know what they are.
So desperate. They're asking him then to sign free agent Jarvis Landry now.
Okay.
He's probably the only one that would be, other than Kenny Galladay, that you would even think about signing.
This is the group they got.
That was like when they signed, what week was it when they brought in Kelvin Benjamin to this wide receiver unit? Was that the year that they didn't have a single wide receiver receiving touchdown?
He just wanted some barbecue in Kansas City. That's all he wanted.
He was here for
That's all he wanted.
He was playing at like 3 Bills those days too. I don't even know, like, how did that workout go? He was like, that was never going to work out.
Would you even be mad if they did use the rest of their cap that they have to sign him? Just to
sign who?
If they brought in Jarvis Landry.
No, I'm not interested. Pass.
Bringing in someone from outside that doesn't know the offense in week 13 at that point it's too late.
If you were going to do that, it should have been like week 5.
Yeah, this is the group they got. It's the group they got. They had multiple opportunities to change the group, trade deadline, offseason. They chose not to. This is the group they have. And I still maintain there really weren't many options at the trade deadline. Nobody got moved. But they had the offseason to do it.
The fact
and they weren't willing to do what they needed to do, and to get a Hopkins, to get a Beckham. Not that either one has been great this year either.
He signed with the Kansas City Chiefs December 6th. Still alive. They once brought in Kelvin Benjamin on December 6th to try to strengthen the wide receiver unit.
And what did he do?
Nothing, dude. He was worthless.
The thing that
absolutely nothing.
The thing that I don't understand is Matt Nagy was just talking about it, the work that they get in. He said during practice, in between drills, they will go to the quarterbacks and they will run routes that they have in the game plan. How are you running the wrong route then? Like, what is going on with the Justin Watson play? And Matt Nagy said that they have different reads regarding that play. They have different reads. Justin went in, Patrick let him go outside, miscommunication, that happens. But if you're practicing the routes that you're going to run with the quarterbacks in, like, outside of just regular individual drills, how is this a problem?
Practice isn't a game.
And the attention to detail. It makes no sense.
Because when the lights are on and you're asking number 4 wide receivers to be the guy, they're not the guy. That's what it is.
Yeah, but they can't even run the right route. It's not even that they can't catch the ball.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, you're asking guys to be the guy under the lights and the pressure and all that, and when they're not as talented, the basics break down when you aren't able to handle being that guy. Like, that's like I think
you
there's
make
a difference.
mistakes when the pressure's on.
Yeah, and some guys can handle that better if they're used to being that dude. And they're asking guys to be number 1s and number 2s that are 4s and 5s.
All right, look, I'm still out, I think, on Jarvis Landry. But just real quick.
Nobody else has signed him, by the way, this year. I want to point that out. We always got to make note of that.
I know, but
Don't give me his stats last year. I can give you MVS's stats last year. How's that turned out?
I know. He was more productive in 9 games last year than either MVS or Sky have been this year, which is, again, not saying I'd sign him. That's a bit jarring.
I was going to say, you give him $1 million and just he can't do any worse?
Nobody in the league signed him, guys.
Second hypothetical before we do a random question. How many of the Chiefs' current wide receivers will currently be employed by an NFL team in 5 years?
In 5 years, I could say that about a lot. In fairness, we can say that about a lot of NFL wide receivers.
3 years. How many of these wide receivers will be employed by an NFL team? Rashee Rice,
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Will Tony still be in the league?
Yes.
Will Justin Watson still be in the league?
Yes.
Special teamer, yeah.
Special teams are going to be like 34.
Yeah.
And like 30 years old? No way. Justin Watson's not going to be in the league 3 years from now. Well, I don't know, maybe, but it seems unlikely. Because we did, remember, like, if you looked at the Chiefs wide receiver unit from 3 years ago, a lot of those guys are not playing on NFL teams. That's why I'm asking. MVS.
That's the point. Is like, I think you could go through what teams should be their 4th and 5th, and most of them won't be in the league in 3 years. We could do that for a lot of teams.
How old is
MVS?
MVS?
The Chiefs have 5 4-string, number 4 wide receivers.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
How old is MVS?
He's 29 or something like that.
Yeah,
he'll be out.
Random question.
I disagree. People can't help themselves.
They'll just be like, he's kind of fast. For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Over in the text line, 913-586-7610. And of course, you can hit us up on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all of the social media video channels we have for that as well. I'm going to ask a Thanksgiving-based question, but I'm not going to ask you what I asked Vinny earlier, which is build the dream Thanksgiving plate. That's what you do if you're actually hosting on Thanksgiving. Or maybe you and Dusty will do it tomorrow.
You know?
But instead, what I want to ask you is, should we, as a group, as a society, expand the Thanksgiving offerings? I think it's time.
What do you mean? Enough offerings.
I think the standard 10 things that are offered at Thanksgiving, I think we could break this out a little bit. I don't think we just need to offer ourselves apple pie. I think we could put a key lime pie on a Thanksgiving plate. I don't think we should have to stick to.
You don't have to.
The standard assortment of things. I know, but it's like shooting free throws underhand. Nobody's going to do it, dude, because it's not societal norms. We have to, as a society, change our approach. Otherwise, we're not going to do it.
There's probably like 50 traditional Thanksgiving dishes.
There's not 50 of them. 50?
Cody wants another 50. Nobody's preventing you from having a key lime pie if that's your thing. Nobody's preventing that.
key lime pie. But if I brought a key lime pie to Thanksgiving, they're going to look at me like I'm a freak. I'm going to be a pariah at this thing. I'm just asking whether or not we can do it. Someone says, I don't want light stuff. I want to gorge myself.
I feel like you look forward to Thanksgiving. Like, you look forward to certain things for Thanksgiving, and because you only really dive in at that moment.
But I got to be honest. That's got to be concerning about some of the food offerings. That we only want them one time a year is concerning. I don't want tacos just one time a year. I want them 3 times a week. Like,
I also don't know many people, though, Cody, that want to spend the time of smoking or roasting a turkey 7 times a year. It's kind of a lot of work.
You could roast. Remember, I want to batch cook. You just make one and you break it down.
Some of it's just a lot of work. That's why it's only once a year, twice a year. Like, I know some people will do a turkey 2 or 3 times a year or whatever. But, yeah,
I think we're open on every other holiday but Thanksgiving. It's like you only get these 10 or 15 things. Yeah, but no exceptions. This is not like Christmas. People do all kinds of different things. We do Mexican food. We do like enchiladas and tamales and all kinds of stuff for Christmas Eve, right? No big deal.
Yeah, someone's right. You can't be bringing lasagna to Thanksgiving.
Or
Cody.
sushi. Come on. Why can't we expand
it's not Thanksgiving.
See, so you think that we're just stuck with these options.
That's what Thanksgiving is.
That's why you look forward to having how often do you eat stuffing outside of Thanksgiving?
Literally one time a year, dude. Nobody else makes stuffing any other time of year. That's it. I'm saying we could expand this.
You're saying expand the
Sushi,
Thanksgiving?
I eat lots of times
Cody's the only person I know that in July, when it's 105, wants to have turkey.
I was going to say.
He wants to be smoking a Thanksgiving turkey.
It's the opposite. I want to bring warm weather foods to Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to take Thanksgiving foods and make them
Cody
more
wants
normalized.
burgers and brats. Cody wants burgers and brats on Thanksgiving.
Right. That's
I'm
what it
not
sounds
trying
like.
to take, you know what? We can talk about 4th of July, too, because it's also got a menu of only 10 to 15 things. I think we can expand
I'm with you
it
on
a little
4th of
bit.
July.
It's only burgers and brats. That's all, and potato salad.
Do you
Those
not
are the only
like?
things we're allowed to eat on
You
the
can
4th
bring
of
the
July.
key lime pie if you want, but do you not like the traditional Thanksgiving items?
Some of them. I like some of them. Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Someone says, why does we say have a Christmas tree? Why can't we just decorate a giant lobster statue for Christmas? I get it. Someone says, Cody, traditional Thanksgiving food is boring.
Cody, if you invite me over to your house for Thanksgiving and you say, I'm going to go turn on the grill, I'm leaving. You're not turning on the grill to do burgers and brats.
To me, you got to have a turkey. But then after that,
I'm saying like a couple of non-standard options. We can have some of the standard
Well,
stuff.
if you're having a bunch of people over and you want to have variety, that's on you. Like, nobody's telling you can't bring a certain item, but you're not going to replace the turkey with burgers on Thanksgiving. I will look at you crazy if I go over to your house for Thanksgiving ever, and all of a sudden there's no Thanksgiving and there's just burgers. Now, if you want to offer ribs as well and you want to go through the work, then go for it.
So what we're saying is, I am allowed to add additional items to the plate, but I still have to have. What are the 5 things I have to have? Turkey,
mashed potatoes, little casserole, pumpkin pie. Like, those are the staples you got to have. And then if you want to add smoked ribs or anything else, you go do you.
Someone says we're breaking out the grill and doing ribeyes. Says
I think it's easier if you have
and they have pasta and turkey and ham.
I think it's easier if you have. Depends on how many people, right? Like if you're having a smaller Thanksgiving and it's just you and your 3 other family members.
Well, I'm
then
not cooking a whole turkey.
Yeah,
I did that once during COVID. I was like, why did I cook this whole
Just do your whole
turkey?
thing. But if you're having, like, I think we're having, maybe it's, I don't know, was it like 13 or 15?
Yeah.
Like
I respect this person. 913. We're doing brisket instead of broke ass turkey. We're getting.
I'll just be like, it depends on the family, right? Because if it's a smaller group, I think you get away with it. But if you told me that all of a sudden my family, and there's 15 of us going over, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're doing brisket instead of turkey, I think most people would be pissed off.
So you guys are having bigger Thanksgiving gatherings,
We have
correct?
to because
family. Yeah, we just have some family. Not like I don't have a huge family, but we just we've traditionally just always hung out for Thanksgiving.
I never think of myself as having a big family because I don't have like a lot of aunts and uncles or a lot of cousins. But I've come to realize now that we have one of the bigger family gatherings out of people I know because there are 7 kids and they all have kids and they all have significant others. So just for like the 7 of us and my 2 stepbrothers, the 9 of us total and parents, it ends up being like a 40-person Thanksgiving.
Wow.
I mean, it ends up being a lot of people just from our immediate group. There is no stragglers or outsiders in this.
That's way too many people.
But it's
a lot of people.
Well, think about it though. 9 kids.
I know, yeah.
Every single one of them is married, so now you're at 18.
Their kids.
Then their children. Then anyone else gets. I mean, it gets to 30
Where do
or
people
40
sit to
people
eat? You got
in a
35
hurry.
people. Where are people
big long
sitting?
tables, man. I don't know. We put together like giant card tables and stuff, and then we gamble and drink. It's traditional Thanksgiving.
Did the
stuff,
kids gamble too?
Yeah,
and drink.
They do the gambling for sure. They don't drink yet. They do. We do like left, right, center. We give them all dollar bills.
Love LCR.
Come on. What, kids can't play that game? Of course they can.
Yes, they can.
I used to play hearts in the back room of my great uncle's house with like a bunch of guys smoking cigars for money.
Someone said they.
So I mean, I can when I was like 8, so I'm sure that they can play.
Someone said they did Italian themed Thanksgiving last year for 12 people. They missed the traditional items. They're back to the usual this go around.
So they tried it once and then they're like, no good. Huh?
Again, I just think Thanksgiving. Like, everybody does their own thing. If your family's happy, then that's all that matters, right? If your family's happy with it, you don't have to do it to appease other people as long as everybody's good. But if I was going to Thanksgiving and they had spaghetti and meatballs and no turkey, I would be like, wait a second. What's going on? What's going on here?
Drew, what are you doing for Thanksgiving this year? You going home?
No, my wife and I are cooking for ourselves.
Oh, wait. Now I feel really bad.
This is
come to
awkward.
my.
This is
do you want to
awkward
come
now.
to my family's Thanksgiving?
We already
This is
have
a
bought
little
stuff
late.
and
I
have
feel
planned
really bad now.
No, do not feel bad. We
kind of dropped the ball.
blew
on this.
that, dude.
You
We
and I
blew
kind of
that.
dropped the ball.
No,
on
it's
this
okay.
one.
We like cooking for ourselves. We've already bought stuff that we're going to have. It'll be good.
Okay, my family's is on Friday, so if you just want like a second Thanksgiving and you want to play left, right, center with my family, you are welcome.
Bree will be
This is an
working, and
official
I
invite.
avoided that.
Yeah, what's up with this?
a
So
possibility.
you said earlier today that you
Your
got
wife tried to get you to work?
offered by your wife to go work at her place of business on Friday, which seems like a terrible
Black
idea.
Friday in retail,
Oh,
by the way.
seems
Let's
like
just be very clear.
Awful.
Yeah, my wife said, "Hey, do you want to?" She joked about it actually before, and then it had come up that we had Black Friday off, and she's like, "Do you want to come in and work? Because we could use some help." And I was like, "What am I doing?" She's, "Oh, you're going to be stocking and stuff and taking hangers off of things." To which you guys immediately were like, "Excuse me,
Don't do
that's
that.
not happening."
Yeah, do not accept that.
And she was like, "Do you want to?" I said, "I really, really, really don't want to." And I said, "You know what? I'll offer 2 hours for you." And she said, "Let me go ask," and it ended up not happening.
Let her go
So I
work.
will
You
be-
sit at
I'll be good.
home and relax and watch college
Or
football
come to my
and the
family's
NFL.
Thanksgiving and not relax, but at least there'll be food.
So I will not be.
Are you doing 2 Thanksgivings? You're not doing one on Thanksgiving. Are you doing 2?
I'll do one with my wife's family on Thanksgiving.
Gotcha. Okay.
My family has
Gotcha.
moved to the day after.
But you're still doing
celebrations.
one on Thanksgiving. You're just a
Yes.
different family. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But he said
That's fun.
He has day of Thanksgiving plans, so I'm offering him Black
So,
Friday.
I wonder if
Thanksgiving
this is
plans.
true. Someone did mention on the text line, they're like, Black Friday in physical retail stores, nowhere near as bad as it used to be because so much online shopping now.
I would say that's probably true. I haven't worked Black Friday though in
Yeah,
a
back
long
in-
time. So
back in the-
my wife would attest. It's still busy, but I would say it's
It's
less
awful, man.
It's less chaotic for the entire day than it has been before.
It's awful. Back in, I don't know, when I was, 15 or 16, I worked at Best Buy. Black Friday.
That's
This
a
was
crazy
back,
store for
back
Black
when
Friday.
people were, lining up at 1 a.m. and stuff. I had to get there at 5. Those days sucked.
I've never
Those were
worked Black
brutal.
Friday in
'Cause people
retail.
are in
Thank
people are in
God.
bad moods. People are rude. They're upset that some item has been gone for 3. They thought they could show up at noon and get the doorbuster item from 5 a.m. Like, yeah, you're 5 hours late. Sorry.
Everybody's pushing and shoving to try to get to the last TV, and
Now a lot of the stuff is already, like, Black Friday's already started. Now, you can already go online and get a lot of the Black Friday deal stuff on Amazon, Best Buy, all that. Anyway, coming up next, we get back into the Chiefs. Nate Taylor from The Athletic. He was at Arrowhead last night. He'll tell us what the vibe was like in the locker room, and does he agree with us that there's one thing that's correctable with this offense?
Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most. Like dinner with loved ones. Letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at BlueKC.com.
Kansas City, are you ready to win this ride? Head into Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway starting October 30th to earn your entries for a chance to win a 2024 Jeep Wrangler Sport. Join us Fridays in November, where one lucky winner will receive a key for the giveaway happening on Black Friday, November 24th. Don't miss out on your chance to win. A 2024 Jeep Wrangler Sport could be yours, only from Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisines, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The results? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting that produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world, turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
Introducing Spectrum One Stream. Get 300 megabit internet for $49.99 a month, including advanced Wi-Fi, and one unlimited mobile line free for 12 months. And when you add Spectrum TV, get a Xumo Stream Box, also free for 12 months. Plus, get a $100 Visa Rewards card. Spectrum One Stream. It's streaming simplified. Visit spectrum.com for full details. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Join Yingling and Johnny's Tavern this November to support Loggers for Heroes. Join Johnny's Tavern to give back to local KC vets and register to win a Yingling prize pack, including a tailgate couch, large wooden Yingling bar sign, tickets to the Chiefs Christmas game, and so much more. Yingling, America's oldest brewery, is proud and thankful for Kansas City's servicemen and women. Visit any of your local Johnny's Taverns in the KC Metro to enter to win. This contest is powered by our friends at Yingling and 610 Sports.
It's touchdown Kansas City when you sell your home to RexBuysKC.com. I am Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs, and no company pays more than Rex, with instant cash offers in your money in as little as 7 days.
That's right, Mitch. I'm Rex, owner of RexBuysKC.com, your locally owned home buyer. We'll buy any house regardless of condition. Distressed or damaged homes, it doesn't matter. Call us now at 816-330-6000 for the best offer and instant cash.
Score a touchdown, Kansas City with Rex, and get a fair, honest deal. Facing divorce, bankruptcy, thousands in repair bills, needing to move fast, being foreclosed, or just wanting cash fast? Then contact Rex now to get your money in as little as 7 days.
We help homeowners solve their problems with options on how they can sell their home. We have no fees, no closing costs, no commissions, no open houses. We buy your house as is.
Sell your home today, worry and hassle-free, no matter what the condition, and get your money in as little as 7 days.
Call us right now at 816-330-6000 or go online to RexBuysKC.com and let us buy your home today.
Inside the Huddle with Cody and Gold, each day from noon until 1 on 610 Sports Radio. Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC on the official radio partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. 610 Sports Radio.
The holiday table is where new traditions are born and where friends and family come together to celebrate. And Ritz Crackers is always there. So make this holiday one to remember with Ritz, a taste of welcome.
How old are elves? Does Mrs. Claus have a first name? Is the fur attached to the top of Santa's boots or the bottom of Santa's pants? Some holiday mysteries may never be solved, but with holiday scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery, finding the perfect gift doesn't have to be one of them. The spark of possibility that comes with every ticket versus the disappointment of yet another ugly holiday sweater. The better gift is clear. Give holiday scratchers and draw games from the Missouri Lottery. Play responsibly.
It's tailgate season and Smokehouse Barbecue has you covered. Whether you plan on going to a game or having the party at your house, Smokehouse Barbecue will be there with you. Plus, you can take advantage of their game day special. A slab of baby back ribs, a pound of burnt ends, a pound of wings, a quart of beans, paperware, and servings for 6, all for just $79.95. They also have private banquet rooms at all 3 KC locations. Check them out at smokehousebbq.com. It's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Amazon's got the best deals on Black Friday. Know the best deals are on Cyber Monday. Friday comes first when it comes to saving. Monday's worth the wait for what you've been craving. Deals so good it'll feel like stealing. Real cool message, could you make it less appealing? What's with the beef? You can get that too. Won't you call us? What's triggering you? Whichever day you're shopping on, you'll save a bunch at Amazon. Black Friday, Cyber Monday too.
Dell's Black Friday event is their biggest sale of the year. Shop limited time deals on laptops like the stylish, innovative XPS 13, engineered to do it all on the Intel Evo platform. Plus, save big on ultra-sharp monitors and top brand accessories. It's the perfect time to upgrade any home, business, or gaming setup powered by Intel Core processors. Shop now at Dell.com/deals to take advantage of huge savings and free shipping. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Subscribe to the 610 Sports KC YouTube page for exclusive video content from Cody and Gold on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs and your home for Royals baseball. 610 Sports Radio. KCSB Kansas City. WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
1 o'clock hour, Cody and Gold. Little news in the NFL surprising both of us during the break. The Colts have waived former All-Pro linebacker Shaquille Leonard. He's owed $6 million for the remainder of the season. If he goes unclaimed, then he could sign a new deal with presumably a contender. If he goes claimed, they would owe him $6 million. The dude won Defensive Rookie of the Year, was a first-team All-Pro, 2018 second-round pick. Just kind of weird. Week 13, now week 12, I guess, of the season to cut somebody on a Colts team that's actually still in the playoff hunt, too, with a rookie head coach. Really bizarre.
The fan base is not very happy.
Well,
he's not playing very well right now.
Is that what it is? He's just playing poor, so they're just going to cut him in the middle of the year?
Seems
That's
weird to
part of
cut
the problem, I
someone
think.
like that. It just seems weird owing him $6 million, though. You're going to cut him week 12.
Yeah.
Back on November 2nd, there was a quote from Shaq Leonard. He said, "They say I don't make enough splash plays, so I guess I'll still be watching for a bit." I guess they've benched him already, and so now they're just maybe he didn't claim that he asked for his release. But, just kind of bizarre NFL news there. Doesn't really impact the Chiefs or anything, but just surprising to see.
If you said they cut Michael Pittman Jr., we could be having a different conversation.
Yeah.
By the way, the Chiefs would never get to claiming him.
Yeah, not a chance. Not a chance. We're expected to have Nate Taylor join us in studio, which is going to be fun. We always like having Nate in studio. Nate Taylor from The Athletic. He was in the locker room last night. And I'm sure you saw the same 35-second clip.
That clip of Travis.
And understandably so. They just lost a hard-fought football game. He has a red zone turnover, so he was pissed off. And in that same shot, I saw Nate Taylor over on the kind of the corner on the side, asking him a question as Nate's settling in. We'll get to Nate in a second. That locker room, I want to get Nate's perspective on it because nobody's saying it should be joyful after a loss, but it felt like from the outside that one stung a little bit more than some of these other losses, even going back to the Broncos game. And Nate can tell me if I'm wrong on that, but that one just felt different listening to how players were talking and knowing that this defense continues to support this football team and play as good as anybody in football, and yet offensively they lead the league in drops now, and the turnovers continue to crop up specifically in the red zone as Nate Taylor from The Athletic, our Chiefs insider, steps into the studio. Appreciate you coming in. Late night last night. I wanted to start just with the locker room. I mean, you were there. You were talking to Travis Kelce. How did that compare to the two prior losses?
Yeah, you are correct. Mr. Gold. In Denver, it was a case of, we had to lose to them at some point. We didn't want to lose to them. Our quarterback got flu-like symptoms, and we turned the ball over. We sort of handed them the game, and finally they beat us, right? When the season began against Detroit, it was one of the most difficult games to sort of analyze in the moment, right? Because no Travis Kelce, no Chris Jones, or Chris Jones was
mistakes in that game too.
In the
Up in the suite.
Yeah, he obviously there's mistakes in that game. No Kadarius Toney in the locker room, which there's a pattern. No Marquez Valdez-Scantling in the locker room. Although today he sort of acknowledged and apologized for his ill-timed mistake last night. But look, when they lost to Detroit, it was tough because so many guys are saying, like, it's a new season. It's a new season, like, last year's last year. And in my mind, I'm like, you guys are lying to one another because you're the Super Bowl champs. Like, you get this national TV game. You get this exposure. Like, why are you not embracing the idea that, like, you get this night to, like, sort of be celebrated for what you did last season? That is literally why you're playing tonight instead of, like, Sunday at, like, 1 o'clock. So I thought it was a hard game to, like, analyze and, like, understand in the moment, even though it was a pretty quiet locker room. Last night was, oh, boy. Like, this isn't good. And so we talked to Travis Kelce for less than a minute, which is, like, incredibly fast, puts all the blame on himself, is unwilling to even acknowledge that Marquez Valdez-Scantling, like, dropped the game-winning touchdown, but says, the things that are true. They have an issue with penalties, with turnovers, with drops, and, he had one of the biggest mistakes of the game last night on a play that you have to commend Robbie on, because he punches the ball at the exact moment, even as Travis Kelce has two hands on the ball. So that tells you he was fundamentally sound, but of course it's a fumble that you can't have in the red zone. So with everything that's gone on, that's the most devastated locker room this season. Just because you were coming off a bye, everybody was healthy or is healthy. It is a Super Bowl rematch and a potential Super Bowl preview. They had opportunities to win that game. They were up 10 points. So all the ingredients of, like, a pretty devastating locker room. And again, your oldest receiver slamming his helmet against the tunnel wall and then, like, basically showering, putting his clothes on and like, going to where he doesn't, I didn't even see him. Sometimes you can see guys and you're like, okay, if they don't want to talk, that's their prerogative, but you at least want the opportunity to let them have a chance to sort of give their perspective on their performance or what happened in the game. We didn't get that chance with Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So it's a devastated locker room, and I think it's shocking to their system just because they have real legitimate problems on offense. And I know that Chris Jones and Trent McDuffie and Justin Reed and George Karlaftis, I know they all said the right thing yesterday, which is, nah, man, we had mistakes too. It's tough. We gave up 21 points. That's a little bit too much.
Against the number 2 scoring offense in the NFL or whatever it was.
It's a little too much, even though we held them under their average. I think deep down they are biting their tongue at the idea of, like, we're doing our job. And so if this continues, it's going to have a cumulative effect of, one unit feeling like they're playing as well as possible given the circumstances that they're being put in, and an offense who has a Hall of Fame coach and a just world-talented quarterback not scoring points in the second half.
For the third straight game, Nate. And when I watch them play, I guess this is the one thing about, like, Travis, who's beating himself up about it. I get it. Well, is the rest of it just spill over because Travis doesn't remember this feeling anymore? Is this like going back to the days when he used to show a little bit more of this? Because either the energy was off, the vibe, like from the beginning, the vibe was off of Travis the entire night. So is it hurt? Is it energy? Is it like what the hell was going on? Like, I know we can talk about MVS. It's easy. It's easy to pick on the wide receivers. They stink. MVS can't catch the ball. Sky Moore can't get open. Justin Watson, they stink. They're a bad unit. They're the worst wide receiver unit in the NFL. Cool.
27 drops.
Travis can mask. Their plan of let's mask wide receivers with Travis worked last year.
Yeah.
Something was off specifically yesterday. What do you think was going on there?
Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes have a burden placed upon them that I think fans truly don't understand yet, which is we have to be all world pretty much all the time because you can't rely upon somebody else of a skill position in the offense outside of Isaiah Pacheco, who you know is going to be consistently giving you plays to, like, not just relax, but plays to, like, I don't have to do everything, right? So, again, the Eagles are saying, look, man, it's like us. I'm playing deep safety. I got a linebacker over here named Alex Gold. I got Cody Tapp, who's a nickel corner. And, like, we're just playing a box and one, essentially. Like, I don't know. I don't know what you want to do. Like, maybe Mahomes will scramble around enough and you'll find the void in the zone defense. Cool. Like, but we're going to blitz you now, which we would never do to Patrick Mahomes because we don't trust any of these dudes. And even if they get behind us, prove it. And they haven't proven it enough. So because Travis Kelce feels like I'm 34, I'm trying to maximize all that I have left. And this is why I've said before, and will continue to say, fellas, we are in the midst of the last great year of Travis Kelce. I truly believe that.
I refuse to believe that. It might be denial.
He
but that's
played 95% of the snaps and never had a, like, oh, that's an all-pro tight end moment because he's being swallowed up. He's pressing at times. And even when he does make a play, the defense is there to sort of turn the tables on a turnover. Mahomes can't look at him all the time now because defenses have adjusted to where they say, look, forget double teams. How about we triple team him? You know? And if we know that, I don't know, you have to manufacture touches for Kadarius Toney and McCole Hartman. And hey, you know, Rashee Rice is good for his role, but like, you're not gonna like blow us off. You know, it's not gonna blow the doors.
Yeah,
off
I think
of us.
Rashee Rice, we've because of how bad the
Everybody else is, yes.
Like, I'm not saying he's bad, and I'm excited for his future, but he's not going to be a stud top 15 wide receiver in the NFL. And sometimes
Not
we act
this year.
Okay.
Not this year.
Well, definitely not this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's ever that, but my point is, I think we inflate what he is because of how bad everybody else is. That's all I'm saying.
And I tend to agree because they're targeting Justin Watson 11 times.
Like, and it's not even Justin Watson's fault, but like they're asking a guy that's basically a number 4 or 5 to be a number 1, and like, of course he's going to drop it again. There's a reason why he's never been a number 1.
Yes,
like,
we've known this. He's a 6-year veteran.
I know, but he's getting open.
One thing they trust him. They trust him.
He does, but again, it's inconsistent. Cody, I can show you 2 clips where it says that's the same route against similar coverage, and one route he runs it really well. He's open. And he dropped the ball against the Denver Broncos and hurt his elbow. On another snap, I can show you him having a similar route, same play, and like, he caught a very nice deep ball, adjusting his route against the Chicago Bears when Patrick Mahomes was in duress, and he threw him basically a 50-50 ball, and Justin Watson came down with it. So, again, he hasn't been as consistent as you would expect from a, quote, number 1 receiver.
This offense, as we're talking to Nate Taylor from The Athletic, he's in studio with us, our Chiefs insider. First half, they're like the second best offense. Second half, we know the story. The worst. They're worse than the Cardinals and the Raiders, points per game.
Crazy.
What's the difference? We know they come out 15, 20 scripted plays. Great. What we were discussing earlier is it the second half, the opponent makes adjustments, and at some point in the second half, the dude's got to make plays, and they don't have the dudes. Is that what's going on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You guys are wise enough to understand, like, that, look, you get about 8 minutes in halftime of, like, real minutes to say, like, okay, let's review the first half stats. Let's ask what the players want. All right, based on what you guys are telling me and the stats reflected, let's do this, and this. You only get about
Yeah, you go over a couple of things.
Yeah, 2 to 4 adjustments that are like
even Peyton Manning
legitimate.
was like, look, they overblow that a little.
Of course. And so it's like, hey, let's do these two things a little bit more, right? So if you look in if you rewatch the game, the Eagles do a little bit more cover zero pressure in the second half, which I thought was shocking because again, every statistic tells you don't blitz Mahomes. But again, we're in a new year, and so the stats are a little misleading now. The Eagles did a concerted effort to get the Chiefs in 3rd and long, which again, most of the time, that's kind of in the Chiefs' favor because again, they have the best quarterback, they have a great scheme. Obviously, they have the best tight end in football, but they were giving up too much in the running game on 1st down, so they tightened that up so that Mahomes again feels a little bit more of a burden, feels a little bit more of a pressure on 3rd and 8s. Now you add a penalty or two because Trey Smith is holding, or Jawan Taylor's holding, or Travis Kelce's trying to be a lead blocker on a pretty creative scheme for the running game, but like Hassan Riddick, gets held. It happens. So instead of it being 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 7, we're now in 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14, 15 range. And so it all starts to snowball. They didn't go to like the top shelf in terms of play calling, fellas, but they went to the shelf right below it, right? Like top shelf is like what they've done in the Super Bowl, obviously to help the team win, to give them an extreme advantage on offense. But I think Andy Reid and Matt Nagy went to like the highest shelf that they would consider for a regular season game. Like all these runs.
I thought they moved the ball pretty well.
Yes, like they were one turnover away, Patrick Mahomes' interception, from scoring 24 points on a pretty good defense.
And 31 if Travis Kelce doesn't let the ball. They were down inside the 10 on both of those.
So again, to your point, Alex, it's not a play calling issue. There have been times this year where I said, man, they didn't really use Pacheco enough, or I don't know about this decision or that sort of scheme concept. But like they got top shelf level plays for both halves. The issue is, and I think it's troubling, 10 games into the season, that the head coach, and as we heard just a little bit ago, less than an hour ago, from the offensive coordinator, they are unwilling to acknowledge the biggest issue.
No, they won't talk about it.
These dudes do not focus, play in, play out. All their issues are concentration level issues. It's like, hey, if you see the safety, don't loft it. Like, as Patrick said after the game, I kind of got to like flatten them out and like really zip it. Well, that seems like a concentration thing, right? Like if you know what the issue is, but you don't do it, like.
So who is that? Is that an EB thing? Is that a Reed thing? Is that a like? Honest to God, EB, he was obviously the hard ass. We understand, like, so
and the fundamental guy, the guy who always said strength to finish. Strength to finish, strength to finish. I heard it so much in practice that it becomes, nauseating. But it's true. It's a cliche for a reason. Strength to finish. Like, do everything until the absolute whistle is blown. So to your point, Cody, like, I'm not saying Matt Nagy's, like, saying that all the time. I also understand that Matt Nagy's a completely different coach than Eric Bieniemy. But one of them two dudes got to figure it out, right? And when I mean the dudes, I mean Andy Reid and Matt Nagy. They have a lack of concentration. Why are you dropping the ball? Because you're not concentrating on your fundamentals, on watching the ball literally go into your hands and squeezing it in the proper manner, or getting your hands in the right position, right? Why are you holding? Well, it's because you
let your footwork go.
Yes.
Ross Tucker complained to us before the season started. He was like, hey, look, one problem you guys have at tackle is Donovan Smith is lazy. That was pretty much what he said. He said it's not that he's not talented enough. He said he snap in and snap out. He'll just let some go like, meh.
It's way too long of a cut. I have it here, but it's like.
That was exactly what he said.
And he looked at the referee last night like, why are you calling a hold? Dude, you were hugging him. Yeah. Like, come on, man. So, like, they have plays when they're all concentrated, they're all focused. I'll name one. It was 4th and 1 inside the Eagles' territory where they were sharp, crisp, focused. Really we get a first down. And everybody in the crowd goes, finally! Mm-hmm. The one thing they solved in the bye week from this one game sample that we can, dissect is the idea that they actually got their short yardage game correct. They actually had plays and sharp execution. So if there was one thing I can say positive about the coaching staff and the players is, hey, they did really well in short yardage situations. So on 4th and 4 from the 30, whatever, yeah, we got to punt the ball. We got to punt the ball. We got to punt the ball back
Well,
to
then
the Eagles.
guess what? This might stun you, Nate, but Justin Watson was down there at the 1 yard line, and the ball, he couldn't catch it to pin him back at the 1.
He didn't locate it in fast enough time.
Mm-hmm.
So they lack concentration. I really believe that because penalties are a function of either poor timing, poor footwork fundamentals, like Cody said, and a bit of laziness, or I got to do something even though I've obviously been outworked. Dropping the football on 4th and 25?
Yes.
When the dude puts it in the exact spot that, again, great play call because the guy was open. The quarterback, on time, puts it on you. You know you're going to get hit. Like that's just
Sure, 4th and 25.
That's
Sorry.
just the life of the NFL. Hey, Justin Watson. If he doesn't choose Travis Kelce on this option route to the right, well, that means he's coming to you on the left, and you're running a slant between two defenders who are in zone coverage. It is 3rd and 4. You will get hit, and the ball goes through his hands on both occasions. So again, like it's concentration or it's focusing on other things before you do the first part, which brings you back to fundamentals and what are you sort of trying to do in the practice and the prep that will smooth out some of those issues when the game is obviously going at a very, very fast speed.
It kind of reminded me of when he dotted the guy in the Super Bowl. And you're like, he's just literally doing anything. You're like, dude, what more do you want him to do? He hit you in the face. But that's okay. That's beyond it. What's weird about all of this, Nate, is like, yeah, it's easy to just be like, what the hell is going on today? I still think they can win the Super Bowl with the offense playing like this because the defense is elite.
I don't know.
They're shutting down back-to-back games.
I don't know.
Miami and Philadelphia. They should have won that game.
Yes, they should
They
have.
let that one walk on them. They beat Miami.
The defense gives
they
the
couldn't score
offense
against Miami either.
one extra chance, 2 extra chances, 3 extra chances. Obviously, they didn't execute. They didn't capitalize on it. But I said it after the Dolphins game. I do, and I certainly actually feel even better about it. This defense can win them a Super Bowl.
Sure.
I really believe it.
Sure.
Just one turnover instead of 3.
Hypothetically, yes. The best.
It reminded me of the Lions game. It was the same game as Week 1, where the Chiefs had multiple mistakes on offense, pick 6, but the defense played great, and yet they still gave their offense one more drive, and then Tony dropped it. This game, mistake after mistake, red zone turnovers, the defense still gave them one more chance, and they had it. And it was a drop from MVS. Like, that's why I still feel the same way about the defense. Unfortunately, we're talking about the exact same issue with the wide receivers as we were in Week 1.
Right. And again, they're running out of time.
Yeah, it's Week 12.
It's Thanksgiving. Like, this is when it's supposed to get serious. This is when you're supposed to start really improving.
Well, now they got an important divisional game on Sunday. Wasn't important before.
They don't lose in November and December. You know what I mean? Like that's not. They do not lose. We mentioned the stat earlier, especially at home. They don't lose in November or December.
So with what the defense has done, hey, we're gonna have a great end of the second quarter. We're gonna stop them. You guys go and score a touchdown. Great. They're in a 2-minute drill. We're gonna snuff that out real quick. Give you guys a chance to get a field goal. Boom, boom, boom. Great. Hey, they get the ball to start the second half. They can make some adjustments. Guess what?
3 and out.
We're gonna 3 and out them. All right. All right. You had a penalty and then drop or 2. Okay, we're gonna stop them on the next series. We're up 10, guys. It's the middle of the third quarter. A field goal.
And then they drive.
A field goal would do immense to help us out. Yeah. So they're really up against it, man. I know that they get the O'Connells and the Brownings of the world.
Yeah.
But they got to show real consistency on offense. And again, as we've said earlier, they haven't scored a second half point in 3 games against an okay opponent in Denver, a kind of good opponent in Miami, and an actual Super Bowl contending opponent in Philadelphia. So there's levels to this. It's only gotten harder, and their production has been embarrassingly bad.
2 of their losses NFC opponents, right? So it doesn't hurt them in the AFC conference tiebreakers. But the Ravens do have a half-game lead now for the number 1 seed. Do you think this is a game last night that cost them the number 1 seed, or do you still look at the Chiefs' schedule and with the struggles and still
And the Ravens'
recognize
schedule.
and knowing we looked it up, the Chiefs based on strength of schedule have the third easiest or the easiest schedule in the AFC and like the third or fourth easiest in all the NFL. The Ravens have one of the 5 toughest schedules remaining. Do you still think they are the number 1 seed?
Now, I wrote, as the Athletic required all of us who covered the NFL to give us our bold second half predictions. And gentlemen,
He had said that they weren't going to be that
I
high.
said that the AFC championship game was not going to be at Arrowhead. I know that is...
He still said they'd be in it for what it's worth.
True, I did say that. Okay. I did say that. But at some point, things are going to change. And I know for Chiefs fans, it's unfortunate to hear that. They couldn't beat the Denver Broncos twice. And the Raiders are... Are we sure they're beating them twice? I think they're beating them twice, but are you sure? Like, really deep down, ladies and gentlemen, are you sure they beat the Raiders twice? Okay? Cincinnati might be out of it by, New Year's Eve.
They're cooked.
The Chargers might be out of it by January 7th. So,
They're out of it. What's today's date? They're out of it on November 21st.
So that is where the schedule gives them the benefit, is like the way the schedule sort of ends. If they win against the Raiders on Christmas Day, they have a very good chance of going win to end the regular season. If I was the NFL right now, I'd tell them that don't you dare put the Patriots on Monday Night Football. They have the ability to flex it out. They can flex it out. Do it now. Do it right now. I don't even want to be there.
You want to watch Bailey? You want to watch Bailey's happy on a Monday Night Football game?
I wonder if they'll take the Chiefs out of Monday night, though. You know that. Sometimes the league's hesitant to do that.
This would be the one time I would tell them.
Yeah, I'm with you. It depends on the other week. I haven't looked at the games that
Jordan
week.
Love and Lambeau Field? Okay, I'm fine.
I was worried about that one. I'm going to Lambeau, and so I had never been. I told Co I was freaking out. Then I looked, I'm like, I think that Niners game's locked into Fox's window anyway. So I think the Chiefs-Packers game is definitely locked in for Sunday night.
So all it comes down to me, I think, is beating the Raiders twice, handling business against Green Bay, who is still technically in it in terms of the playoff picture. And then, the Super Bowl for the Buffalo Bills will be on December 10th in Arrowhead Stadium. Their season essentially comes down to that game.
They're playing just like the Chiefs, though. That is an inconsistently not very good football team at times.
I believe the Bills will have more urgency in that game, or more incentivized urgency, I should say, just because they're in a more perilous situation right now from a division standpoint. And the fact that technically, are they in the playoffs right now? They're out. They're out of the playoffs as of right now. So again, they gotta play the Eagles, and then again, their next game is against the Chiefs because they get a bye week. So again, they'll be coming off a bye week. That'll be their season. I mean, who knows if the Bills will beat the Eagles, but they'll have maybe an opportunity to. If they focus and concentrate better than the Chiefs did last night. And then coming off a bye week, I just really think that is the pivotal moment for Sean McDermott. Like, I know they just gave you an extension, but they could fire you. So if they lose to the Eagles and they lose to the Chiefs, it's pretty much a wrap. So if they want to continue this run they've had that has been pretty successful, obviously not as successful as the Chiefs, if they want to continue this run, they've got to win in Arrowhead, which means the Chiefs will be pushed in that game.
Real quick, I did look up the schedule. Great news. Tons of great game choices that are not Chiefs-Patriots.
Yeah, I've looked it up too. It's
Cowboys at Bills. Okay.
Sign me up.
Eagles at Seahawks.
Sign me up.
Baltimore at Jacksonville.
There you go. That's the one. That's the one.
I'm not even kidding.
You tell me we don't have to, hold on. You telling me Troy Aikman and Joe Buck don't have to go to New England in December and they can go to Jacksonville?
I'd probably do that instead.
Yeah, so they have options, and I do think they'll. Honestly, if the league was about its integrity, that they and their parity that they speak so much about, don't put the Patriots on Monday Night Football. Don't do that to them. They should be in tank mode by that point in the season, like full on tank mode.
I shouldn't be subjected to watch any Patriots game.
The only way that game stays on Monday night, if this won't happen, but somehow if the Patriots announce that this will be final year for Bill Belichick, and then they're going to be like, we got to do a trip. We can't get Bill Belichick off Monday Night Football. We got to do a whole special on Bill Belichick.
I'll never forget Bill if he makes me watch that game on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, don't do it to us, y'all.
That is the most Sunday noon game ever. Just Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Sunday at noon.
By the way, as I've learned over the years, Roger Goodell has final say on scheduling. As my understanding, both preseason, like as they're building the schedule in like April, May, and of course now, obviously it's in association with the television partners and what the networks want, and obviously advising the teams and what do they prefer from a scheduling, traveling standpoint. Hey, we would actually lose amount of prep time, amount of rest if you flex us or not flex us. But the person who has final say is Roger Goodell. And if Roger Goodell cares about the American fan, do not put the New England Patriots in prime time. Don't you dare do it.
Not after you put them in Germany.
We put them in Germany, and I was like, I think I'm falling back asleep. I think it's this bad. And man, just wake me up when the noon games start.
Nate Taylor from The Athletic, our Chiefs insider. Thanks for coming in studio. Late night last night out at Arrowhead. Up next, we'll get you caught up on what's trending around the league, including the latest with the Colts releasing Shaq Leonard. Plus, one thing that is going to work all year on this defense. We'll tell you what it is specifically next.
Chiefs fans, it's Creed Humphrey. Don't miss Cody and Gold weekdays starting at 10 on 610 Sports Radio.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Gates Barbecue's unforgettable flavor will make your holiday parties unforgettable. Spice up your holiday eating with Gates sauces and seasonings made with fresh, savory ingredients, and it's gluten-free. Prepare your meats, potatoes, and vegetables with Gates sauces and seasonings while watching the game or relaxing. Sprinkle Gates seasonings on your favorite snack like a bowl of popcorn. Your taste buds will thank you. Buy Gates, available at your local grocer or online at gatesbbq.com. Gates, 75 years serving Kansas City.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Vicks Vapo Stick delivers soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. Vicks Vapo Stick. Comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
Get ready, Kansas City. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for Kansas City. Trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
Arvest Bank, proud supporter of your Kansas City Chiefs radio network. Stop by any Arvest branch to find out why banking with Arvest and the Arvest Go mobile app makes life easier. Arvest Bank, member FDIC.
Centric is always training for the technology of today, and AI is no exception.
Gold, I got sucked into the Chat GPT game because I'm interested in it. And it's great when you know these companies like Centric immediately know that AI is important and you want to start learning it.
You can amplify your skills over at Centric when it comes to AI, critical thinking, prompt generating, refined messaging, all part of the curriculum.
Don't miss out on an incredible career in IT and a budding industry like AI. Go to centric.com/610, talk to our guy Russ Mondry, and tell him that Cody and Gold sent you.
Your favorite team is always trying to get the best lineup on the field, and now Sonic is giving your cheeseburger the most burgier lineup ever. Dana Hughes here, and get ready for Sonic's bold and tangy hickory barbecue and indulgent garlic butter bacon cheeseburgers, taking your game to a whole new level, starting at just $3.99. Whether at the tailgate or after a weekly practice, you'll love Sonic's hickory burger and garlic butter bacon cheeseburgers. But don't wait, the burger lineup is only available at Sonic for a limited time.
Holiday stories from Shane Company customers.
My 3 girls are coming home for the holidays. I created a gemstone necklace for each of them at Shane Company. Gracie loves yellow, so I chose citrine for her. For Ava, I chose blue topaz. It's known to bring clarity. And for Lexi, I went with her birthstone, amethyst. Each gift is unique, just like them.
Personalize your gift with rare and vibrant gemstones sourced from around the world. 'Tis the season to shine. Shane Company. Fine jewelry since 1929.
LMC Truck is proud to support the Kingdom this season as they present the national anthem before every game. LMC Truck is focused on keeping generations on the road because trucks tie the past to the future. It's time to start your truck journey at lmctruck.com.
Hi, it's Trey Smith, and in order for our team to get a victory, we need honesty, teamwork, work ethic, humility, and the golden rule. That's why my truck is from the dealer that embodies all those values, Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram also supports Giving Hope, whose sole purpose is to feed and clothe the needy in Wyandotte County and beyond. Giving back in the highest integrity, that's how Jeff and his team do business. For your next vehicle, visit or go to victorychrysler-dodge-jeepram.com.
Boost Infinite's new wireless technology switches between networks for the best service at a lower price. Switch today. Call 855-55-BOOST. That's 855-55-BOOST.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Hey, Brent, love the color. If you had to choose, would you watch paint dry or compare benefits plans?
Compare benefits plans, obviously.
But you know how complicated benefits are, right?
Well, I run payroll with Gusto. Gusto makes it easy to find benefits like medical, dental, and vision for my whole team.
Whoa! Oh, sorry. I'm gonna need new glasses.
Don't worry, you're covered.
Choose benefits without the mess. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit GetJim.com.
Chiefs coverage on 610 Sports Radio is brought to you by Park & Go. Book parkandgo.com.
Tackle your airport parking needs at Park & Go. Always the best service and always the best price at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7 and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family owned and operated.
What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
Number one on what's trending, obviously, the Chiefs get their third loss of the season. They got a quick turnaround. They're going to take on the Raiders on Sunday afternoon in Las Vegas. The Chiefs 9.5-point favorites in that game. This is what Daniel Hughes had to say earlier today. He was on with Fesco in the morning about the wide receivers, the drops, and he says it's all about attention to detail.
The attention to detail matters. It does matter in the game of football. It's a game of inches. Also, from a receiver standpoint, when you're talking about separation and attacking the football and proper hand placement, how do you catch the ball? How do you look the ball into your hands, in your arm, and then covering up in traffic? Watch these guys run routes. You got mirrored routes in pregame warm-up, and one side of the field, they're running the same exact route. One side of the field runs a 10-yard hook. The other side of the field runs a 12-yard hook. I'm like, the route is 12 yards. That's what it is. That's how it's drawn up. It's a 12-yard hook. Run it the way it's supposed to run to where you're supposed to be.
Little things. It sounds so basic.
Nate Taylor
but
agreed strongly.
Fundamentals, basic stuff, lacking discipline. We didn't think I'd be talking about that week 12 of the season for an Andy Reid coach team with a lot of the same parts.
No, but they are lost at times. And then other parts, I just started thinking it's yips, where you lose your concentration and you let those things get the better of you and you just kind of let things unravel a little quicker. Next up on What's Trending, the Steelers have fired offensive coordinator Matt Canada. Funny, we're talking about coaching struggles. And then all of a sudden I'm talking about a different one. They had no choice. This should have been done 2 months ago. They were holding on for dear life. Probably should have been done after last season. Mike Tomlin was asked about this at the end of last year. They held on as long as they could. This felt like the Bob Sutton thing, where eventually there became no excuses for it. You had no choice but to let him go, so the Steelers let go of Matt Canada.
The Steelers don't make in-season changes. The first time, I believe it was Elias Sports Bureau put this out, first time in 81 years.
That's incredible.
That they have made a coordinator or coaching change in season. Usually they're as stable as they come. They don't overreact, but this is a move that should have been done a long time ago. Next up on What's Trending college basketball, KU got a win yesterday in the Maui Invitational against Chaminade, 83-56 tonight. Much stiffer competition. It's going up against Marquette. Shaka Smart in Marquette, by the way. 9:30 tip-off. KU underdogs against the fourth team in the country. Marquette, I believe they're underdogs. Yeah, 4 points.
Yeah, 4-point underdog, which kind of makes you want to. I mean, are they 4 points better than Kansas?
So early in the season, man. I don't know.
I know.
KU's already played Kentucky, though. It was
Yeah.
a top 20 team.
And we're down for a majority of that game, but then eventually did win that game. Lastly, on What's Trending, a couple of pieces of news around the NFL. Kareem Jackson suspended 4 games by the Broncos, or by the NFL for the Broncos. He'll appeal that suspension. He's already been suspended this year by the NFL for dangerous hits. This one was even more dangerous than that, so we'll see how that plays out. And the Indianapolis Colts have cut former Pro Bowl player Shaq Leonard, kind of surprisingly. I guess most reports out of there is they didn't feel like he was doing a very good job, playing very well.
Defensive
across
Rookie
the board.
of the Year.
They still owe him $6 million. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year. They straight up cut him. He is available on waivers. He'll be owed $6 million if a team acquires him. If he just not, then he'll be a mercenary for hire.
Yeah, my guess is he'll clear waivers and some contender wants some linebacker depth will take a flyer on him. Yeah, it's not going to be the Chiefs, but some other team will take a flyer.
Remember we used to talk about Carlos Dunlap on this?
He never signed with anybody.
Nope.
Remember there was also a lot of speculation that he got his 100 sacks. Maybe he just was kind of like, you know what? I'm kind of done. I got my ring. Kind of done. Maybe that's what happened as well. That's what's trending, but maybe for Carlos.
Just like
Dunlap.
a cool number and just decided.
It's like,
but he hasn't officially retired.
No, but like, what's his incentive, Got his 100 sacks, got his ring,
How's
made good money.
in Seattle?
I don't know. He's getting playing time, though, because of injury. I don't know what he's actually doing.
I didn't know.
Seattle's playing the 49ers on Thanksgiving.
He has 5 tackles. 4. Oh, wait. Nope, that was one line off. Sorry. 5. I thought 4 for a loss. Nope, just 5 tackles.
Yeah. Seattle, of course, coming off a loss to the LA Rams.
Talk about and that is of point. Like, just if you watch the rest of the NFL, and I know you guys do, it is easy to come into a day, and I'm not saying you have to feel good about the team today because the offense is a mess. I'm not even trying to say it, but I'll tell you, I know Vinny said the league is mediocre. There are not many great teams. They're all just so incredibly flawed.
Well, it's the Chiefs standard. The Chiefs standard offensively is way below what we're used to. And it's an average offense. It's the worst offense in the second half, but they're average across the board. And that's stunning to hear. Never thought.
Worse than them, yeah.
And there's, of course, the worry that with the rest of the AFC being down, are you blowing an opportunity to go get another ring with Patrick Mahomes? Right?
Yes.
I think that's where the frustration comes in. You got this elite defense that's as good as anybody in the league. Best defense Mahomes has ever had. And you're seeing other injuries happen to quarterbacks in the AFC, and the sea seems to be parting for you in the AFC playoff picture, and yet the offense appears to be what's holding you back. That's where the frustration, the worry, the concern, the panic, whatever word you want to use, is at right now.
And had you just not misevaluated one position, this team could be 10-0, and we're having a very different conversation. Maybe they still wouldn't be the best offense in the NFL, but Gold, with this defense, if they were just the 7th best offense in the NFL, they would be undefeated. That's just the reality. I mean, they would. I know, and we don't have to do hypotheticals because if they were worse on defense, they would be bad. But if they had just not misevaluated the level of talent they had at wide receiver, and in ways, I would say, lied to themselves a little bit about the talent. They did a lot of mental gymnastics on, you heard somebody asked today at Matt Nagy's press conference. You were playing it during the break. We were listening to it a little bit. We wanted to hear what he had to say. Somebody had said, hey, when you got MVS here, this organization was talking about, we can expand his game. You couldn't. MVS is who he is. If some other team signs him next and says, we can expand his game, don't listen to them. His game is his game, and it will exist the same way no matter what. And then you're like, oh, we're going to get more out of Tony than they ever have. You didn't. or Sky Moore's going to develop in year 2. He won't. Like, they
By the way,
just misevaluated
that's not unique
board.
to the Chiefs, though.
No.
It's accurate. Every team thinks that a guy that didn't.
But they whiffed on all of them.
Yeah,
The whole conversation is like, well, they're not going to miss on all of them. That's why the wide receiver unit work, and they missed. They missed across the board fundamentally.
No, I mean, it's arrogance and ego, too, a lot. I mean, it's not just the Chiefs' problem. I mean, any organization, they see a top draft pick fail somewhere else, they think they can fix them.
And the Chiefs have had some success in that department.
They have. And I still think, by the way, Kadarius Toney needs more playing time. I mean, when you're having issues right now, he needs the ball more. Plain and simple. He's electric with the football. He just is. And if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. But you got to see what you can do right now. You're in the middle of a race for the AFC. By the way, KU not underdogs tonight. I'm sorry. They're 4.5-point favorites against Marquette. But yeah, and Kadarius Toney got over the 5.5 yards, 6.5 for you.
Tony,
yesterday.
thank you. My kids can still go to college thanks to your 2 catches for 11 or 12 yards or whatever it was.
I didn't have the exact to score bet, but otherwise I would have thrown up because you can do the exact score bets for the Chiefs game. Sure. And I thought the game, I did a bunch of radio hits as you did as well this past week, talking about the Eagles game. And every show, I was like, 24-21. It's going to go under. Chiefs are going to score 24-21. If MVS catches it and the extra point's good, it's 24-21. We might be sitting here. 24-21 would have gone. So I'm a little upset about that as well. Thank you very much.
Wasn't that Ross Tucker's exact prediction too?
Probably. It made sense. The Chiefs games have gone under 7-2 now, 8-2 to the under now.
Hey, for fun, since you and I won't be on the show the rest of the week.
Yeah, Drew and Dusty are hosting tomorrow.
Yeah, so we'll be off the rest of the week. What's your really quick, what's your Raiders score prediction? Come on, fire one off. Let's get an early T-Mobile prediction.
Yeah, tomorrow I'll have a new episode of That Betting Show out on the Odyssey app and Apple Podcast. I got to do some work on that. I haven't dove deep into the numbers on that one, I'll be honest. 9.5 seems a bit rich based off of the struggles of the offense
Chiefs
right now.
24, Raiders 17.
So you don't think the Chiefs cover?
No.
Yeah, and I don't think they cover either.
I do think they win.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Raiders can get to 20 based on their offense and this Chiefs defense. I also don't think the Chiefs can get to 30 until they can prove otherwise.
Yeah, I'll go 20-14.
How often have they scored 30, by the way? Like twice? They scored 40 against the Bears. God, man, that was
initial
the feel like
inclination.
The offense had fixed it.
Initial inclination is like 20-14, but that's not my final score prediction. I gotta dive deeper into.
When are you gonna make your final score? You're not gonna get it on the air
during That Betting Show. It's presented by Hollywood Casino. No live show tomorrow night because of K-State basketball, but I'll have a podcast.
So you're saying
version.
you're going to give? Do you always give a Chiefs score prediction in that betting show? I'm be honest, man.
Depends.
I don't listen to it every week. But
how dare you? No. I honestly, if you want to know the complete truth, because the game ended last night, I haven't done any betting stuff for the NFL weekend yet. I got to dive deep into that tonight and tomorrow.
I'm just gonna.
I haven't taken a look at it all. I like Jacksonville against Houston. I'll tell you that though. Jacksonville's
you don't have
-1.
to answer yet on the off chance. I guess you and Dusty predicted tomorrow, but
I'll give the same score tomorrow as I do now. 24-14 Chiefs.
10 plus. You think Chiefs cover? Okay.
Yep.
But barely.
Hey, cover.
Barely.
Chiefs are 7-3 or 7-4 against the spread. I think something like that this year.
This feels like the year of just disappointment, except for and I try not to think of it that way because, honest to God, what they do defensively blows me away. They are the best defense in the NFL, and I think largely because of the thing you were teasing before the break. They are better with their secondary players than anyone, as both cover guys and blitz guys. They blitz from the cornerback unit with everyone with reckless abandon, and it works to such a high effect. It's borderline unstoppable. To me, it is their version of a tush push. You'd be like, hey, they're going to blitz the corners. Can we do something about it? No. Take your loss on it.
We know the coverage, L'Jarius Sneed, what he's done to top wide receivers this year. But Steve Spagnuolo, for a couple of years ago, we always, raved about how he was able to put Sneed in great spots to blitz. Well, now he's got 2 corners to work with. And Trent McDuffie's become the guy that they really utilize off the blitz. And we know Sneed can still do that. Well, that makes it that much more challenging for these offenses. Like, not only do they rotate a bunch of different personnel, give different looks, but if you're Jalen Hurts last night, you don't know if it's McDuffie or Sneed coming on the blitz. It turned out to be McDuffie all night long.
Or Watson or Williams or Edwards or Reed.
He's so good at disguising blitzes. Steve Spagnuolo deserves every bit of credit. This is one of the youngest defenses in football, and he's got them as one of the best defenses in football. That's awfully impressive. And yeah, he's got, they drafted well defensively. As much as we criticize the wide receiver development of the roster, they've obviously done a great job on the defensive side of the roster, developing and evaluating, scouting. But it's really impressive to see how they made Jalen Hurts least for the first half. Look lost, look hurt, whatever it was. He was lost.
Yeah, he was bad. And honestly, this is maybe my issue currently. I don't want to get into a full-blown MVP conversation, but he had 150 yards.
2 touchdowns on the ground. That's what it is.
But he, the award itself is kind of busted if even in this year we can't kick in a player who has on pace for 2,000.
It's a quarterback
yards.
award. You know this.
I know, but I'm bummed. I feel like it could alter outside of it. It could color outside those lines one time.
It's wide
This would be the
open
time.
still. I mean, Jalen Hurts is the favorite at plus 250. Lamar's plus 420. Mahomes plus 460. Tua 5-1, and then there's a gap before Dak at 15-1. And Dak's playing really well right now. He's been one of the best quarterbacks the last 5 weeks. But yeah, I hear you. This felt like the year if it was a Christian McCaffrey type could win it because none of the quarterbacks are blowing in the field out of.
No, Tyreek Hill might have 2,000 yards receiving.
But it's going to be a quarterback that wins it again. And Jalen Hurts has the leg up right now, no doubt. Not only because of the head-to-head matchup, even though it's silly, but they're going to be the number one seed most likely in the NFC. That always helps you out. And last year, before he got hurt, he was going to win it. Fair or not, even though Mahomes had better numbers, the narrative was on his side. The narrative is going to be on his side once again. People really like Jalen Hurts. Remember, it's voters that are doing this. It's not an algorithm that kicks out a sheet of paper that says this is the winner. There are human beings voting on this. That helps him as well. Selfishly, I'll be honest, wouldn't hate it. Had a preseason ticket on Jalen Hurts 14-1 to win MVP.
Well, I can't blame you there for at least rooting for that. The whole wide receiver thing and the youngest snap-adjusted defense in the NFL thing at least makes me not panic for this year. They got 2 Super Bowl titles in the last 5 years, and they are going to. This defense is likely to be top 5 again next year. Look, the absence of Chris Jones is going to add some questions.
I want to go ahead to that, but I hear you.
They're so young and so talented. I think I'd be shocked if they're not at least a very good defense.
Yeah.
Which means you're in position again if you can solve wide receiver stuff to feel a lot better about the roster. I feel good about I feel great, even better about the defense than after the game in Miami.
Yeah.
This is an offense that I respect as much, if not more, than Miami because they're also a championship caliber team. I'm trying not to let 3 plays determine if I think the Chiefs can win the Super Bowl. Travis Kelce fumbling inside the red zone, Patrick Mahomes making an uncharacteristic red zone interception, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling unable to catch a football. Or they are tied for the best record in football, have a leg up on the 1 seed again, and despite all of their offensive problems, which are many, they would still be in line for everything.
Now, you would agree, though, and I hear you, I'm with you, but you would agree, though, if this team is to get knocked out before the AFC title game or losing the Super Bowl, we know the exact reason they're losing. And we know what's going to look like. We know exactly what's going to look like. It's going to be a defense giving the offense opportunities, and they're going to have red zone turnovers or a huge drop that costs them the game. We all know how it's going to go down if they're not able to get back to a Super Bowl or anything like that. If
it is borderline 100% locked that they have the ball multiple times in the fourth quarter with a chance to take the lead back if they lose.
Yeah. Look, I'm not panicking today. My frustration and surprise is that I thought after the bye week there'd be some improvement. There's not. It's the same wide receiver room as week 1. Guys have regressed, not progressed since week 1. And it's the same story.
They are exactly the same.
That's what's frustrating.
As for the season, except for Rice. Rice is the only one who's gotten a little, and actually might have just gotten more playing time, not better.
That's probably fair as well, yeah.
The rest have stayed the same.
All right, man. Well, I'll see you. You're out.
I'm out for a few days.
Yeah, I'm out on Monday as well. I'll see you back next Thursday.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah, next Thursday or so. Drew, I'll see you Monday. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there as well. Drew and Dusty are with you tomorrow. And then I guess next Thursday we'll all be back together. So it's going to be a little bit. Hopefully the Chiefs just settle in against the Raiders. Just beat them up, please.
I've changed my Chiefs prediction. 40-10 Chiefs. Screw this.
Chicago Bears score.
They're just going to bury them.
Oh, my goodness. All right.
All right. Hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving. The Drive with C.